have Sean on his birthday in this afternoon show with Neil. Sean and Neil giving you their takes. And we have Sharif with the green screen. Let's go, guys. See you.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean are locked and loaded. They're ready to take the trades as decided by you. So go into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day during our show, How to Trade Midday Show. Let's start off by looking here at the NQ, getting a nice little double bottom. Still flat though, but barely negative. Likewise with the ES, the Dow also in Redsville. But that rotation trade continues to manifest as the Russell today up almost 1%, was up a little bit higher at the top. So we'll keep an eye on that. I see myself. I see you, Ram. Tesla, the first ticker as decided by you guys, and no real catalyst today, but we're all waiting for that robo-taxi event October 10th. It's scheduled for. There was this little tidbit, not that it affects any of us because none of us bought the Cybertruck, but apparently they're going to start delivering them in Canada in late October, guys.
Ooh, there you go. Now you can
Cybertruck spotted somewhere.
You can get one in there. My wife was sending me. My wife was in on a business trip. In which was the last one? No, I think this time she was in South Carolina, and she was pointing out all the Cybertrucks she was seeing. There was like a plumber who had a customized Cybertruck.
Oh yeah.
It was the ugliest thing. Whatever, but it was smart because actually drew attention to it.
Yeah.
And then there was like a matte black one, which was interesting. And she's like, "Oh man, this is cool. I'd never actually seen them in the wild." I'm like, you don't see them necessarily here, but in the U.S. you do. Look, Tesla for the early part of the morning, and I want to let you guys know, I wasn't doing much trading in the middle of the day. I was doing some stuff, fixing my layout a little bit here. Still don't have everything exactly how I had it before. I feel like the colors are wrong on my charts, which is frustrating. But Tesla was an early trend long, and I was only looking to buy dips on that trend. It never made the 235 break. I want to fix the scaling there. And I feel as if that's still going to be the big valid trade on Tesla. Like everything that happened today is just a precursor for the 235 potential breakout on the daily chart. I feel like I can save this line and nothing crashes. So there you have 235 support to resistance to resistance. It got almost there to a T. And then there's the reversal. And the lower highs back into the previous top from Friday, and then there's your dump. It never gets all the way into the previous afternoon support yesterday at 226, so I think that's still a good support level for us here on Tesla, but a big rejection without breaking out 235 on Tesla. This could be a level to contend with tomorrow when we get the Fed announcement. That would be one of those really great levels to break it out if we can at 235. So still valid, still going to take it whenever it does eventually happen here on Tesla. Just not today.
Yeah, thank you to everybody there. Thank you to the most recent member of 4 months. What's up, Volky? Thank you so much, Volky, for that talk there on the birthday wishes, and everybody else, NYC Urbanista, and everybody. It was a very, very fun morning. We had a cute little video that we played, which was nice. All right, so, oops, that's Uber. How come this says Uber and this says Tesla? Uber trade, we shorted VWAP, and it's a nice trade right there. Uber, one of my top stocks now on the day. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But what the idea here was Tesla. We got a super chat earlier in the day where I basically just opened up this chart and did this work here. You go back to the early beginning of the month, and we said 235. I said I'm really interested in a break up there near 235. It turns out that turned out to be the high of the day. And then we also said we'd like the 226 buy area. So that's also potentially in play right down there as well. So I like the stock. Good move for it today. Obviously, we wish it was still a little bit higher for everyone that is looking to take long on Tesla. But if you're short off this level as well, congratulations. At the end of the day, you make money both ways today. The long, and then if you're patient enough, you get that short back in as well. So we kind of knew the market would be like this today. I wrote down to try to follow as many trends as possible. And honestly, I mean, I'm short now. I'm short Apple. You can see on the board there, I'm short the Nasdaq, which, oh boy, wait till you see the Nasdaq trading when we get to that, which won't be happening yet. But huge short on the Nasdaq, and we cashed out a lot on that play. So Apple's trying to get to the upside, just broke up through VWAP there, so we'll get out of that short a little bit as well. So, all right, let's go back over the desk and deal with GLMD.
So rocket ship, Sean, a rocket ship, almost 500% at the highs. I was trading during the midday show. Shout out to Randy. Yeah, it halted multiple times off the highs, guys. I looked for a catalyst. It seems like this is the only thing. It regained Nasdaq compliance, and everybody started buying up a storm. Very small float. Not that big of a short float, though.
Yeah, look, when it's a small float, you don't, Sava, just sorry a second here. You're halted on GLMD right now, so it's not as if there's anything going on, but I just heard Cassava Sciences is making a move to the upside. Didn't catch the story just now.
I heard the name.
Yeah, I was sort of listening to Sharif there, and then I did hear, so something going on with Sava here, up about 10%. Sharif's going to look for that, but GLMD, Randy in the house. What up, Randy?
What's this Randy guy up to?
Oh, he's chilling out. GLMD's halted downside. So right now, the current tap is, 1850. So the current theoretical auction price is down at 1850. It is halted down at 1986. This just happened. Looks like we're on the tail end of this move on GLMD. Well, I shouldn't say that. You never really know. Big time runner. The daily chart's going to tell you blue skies and all that good stuff. But I hope the party isn't over. Like right as we go to cover the stock, it goes into a down halt. The previous key halt level was here at about 1575. So if it pulls all the way back in there, 1575, $16, that would be a spot that I think maybe you could catch a bit of a bid. If it loses that, then $10 in VWAP. But it is indicating opening $1.35 lower on GLMD. Yeah, well, up 400%, but halted to the downside on volatility. Should open up in... I mean, it should have opened up now. It's been 5 minutes, so I guess it'll be a 10-minute halt. So give it another 4.5 minutes, it'll be open.
I didn't even really look at that stock today. I was going to go over to Affirm, another runner that, stopped running today. 45 stops and drops again. That's the same trade that it's done a couple times in a row right here. I was looking, so Uber's fallen down here. I keep trying to short Apple, which apparently is wrong. Uber making new moves into the low again. Right now, we shorted off VWAP. We could have got more short there. We should have. And then the nice move back down right here as well. Just looking to make more trades. Let's go have a talk about Intel. Maybe I can get into that one.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about here, Sean. So whether it's possibly spinning off the foundry business or spinning off, we know they're going to spin off their programmable chips business. Unsure about the foundry business. They got more money from the government yesterday, about $3.5 billion under the CHIPS Act, in addition to the $11 billion that they already got loaned and the $8 billion grant that they got earlier in the year. AWS as well joining in the party here. It looks like Intel and Amazon are going to partner up to make AI-specific chips for their data centers. BofA Securities obviously chiming in today on Intel, given the umpteen amount of updates we've had, guys. But good look today for Intel. A little bit off the highs, though.
Yeah, Intel should be it should have been much better for myself on Intel, because really the only thing I ended up trading was 22 and then the position I'm in now. And if you think about it, like in my note this morning, I was like over under at $22. You knew 22 was going to be key, mostly because after getting destroyed on earnings, or continuing its destruction after earnings, it made a high here at the 22 level. So in the aftermarket show, that was the spot. It was the breakout that Sean had into 23. I think it went to 23.30 maybe, or yeah, 23.30, pulled back in, and then it tried to hold the line at that 22 level. You can see it did not do so. It just dipped all the way into the open. It broke back out above 22, stalled at the pre-market high. I tried to reload. That didn't work, but it was really just the 22 long into 22.50, and now just a consolidation short. So if you look at the 15, like the first, after it broke 22, the first bounce spot was right in here. It got up to about 22.65. I shorted on the way back here, and it's now trying to make a couple of lower highs in. So if it breaks this local high, it's at about 70. I'm jumping out, but I think reloads as it's a reversal trend. Now keep in mind, look, you can do whatever you want to do. You can cut costs all you want. You can decide that you're going to have the foundries be a separate entity. Great. But ultimately, they still have to catch up on technology. Foundry it's not making money, and they're still trying to, again, cut costs. There's a lot to fix here. So yeah, it's up 3%, But I think there was some opportunity. A lot of people were taking that opportunity to claim some profits going into tomorrow's Fed on Intel. And if it gets all the way to the low, that's 21.25. I think I'd want to jump out in front of the low of the day. So yeah, it's up 3%, but that doesn't really tell the whole story for Intel today at all.
So for me on Intel, pretty simple. I was pretty upset at myself for missing this trade right here. It's just a retake of VWAP. So that to me, okay, Apple's trying to come down a little bit here. We got back into Apple. I don't feel good about it because we had lost a couple times. Just seeing what's up with Fabian. How are you doing? Everything all right? Thank you, man.
Do you get a free Starbucks in your birthday?
Yeah, man, I got a free. This is an oat espresso, yada yada.
Any size?
Size?
No, like, is it a
Large.
free any size? You just get like
man.
a large?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
This is a hazelnut oat espresso shake.
Oat, huh? Good.
I just went on to feature it. Oh, shaken. Oh, yeah, it does say shaken. Oh, yeah, she's right. Shaken espresso drink. And Ramin knows. I better call it the right thing. But yeah, free. I don't know.
Nice.
Thing is, I put it there. It was $10.
They ID you?
Yes. No.
I was going to say, I'm like, no, but it gives you
It's on the app.
Oh, I was asking you, do you get something free on your birthday?
Yeah.
Right. So as long as you register on the app,
Yes,
you have to give your information at some point.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you can only put in one birthday. You could lie. You just get one free drink a year.
We could have multiple. Well,
Right. Ramin used to have multiple accounts. Is what
I know people that used to do that too.
Yeah. So that's a workaround. Yeah. You know, I'm grown now, so I don't need to do that. Okay. So, anyways, I really think that this was the missed opportunity right here on Intel. So all the way to the downside, we had written down 22.60. Wow, we had written down on our sticky note 22.65. That's pretty much the top again right there. And we're not getting too creative with it. That was based on this move right there. So it comes back up again to 22.60. But this is the trade that I missed. So all the way down, retakes VWAP. I feel like that was a sort of like a golden moment there just to go bang, hit that long and see where it goes. I have no idea how you hold for something all the way up there unless, you were really playing off that high. And then now it's just dripping to the downside. So again, VWAP didn't hold there, it danced around. It didn't really mean too much. So I think we could ignore that, but the break right now of the 50 period is pretty sweet too, right? Here's the hold of the 50 period moving average. There's the break higher all the way. There's the break lower. Now you're trying to break higher, potentially a long right here for Intel above the 50 period moving average. Congratulations. We talked about this yesterday. Anybody that wanted to buy some Intel on the cheap down there at 20 with an 1850 stop, you got it. Now you're $1.50 in the money, so you're 1-to-1 now. We traded this yesterday in the aftermarket. That's when it was the best. The first time it broke 22. So we'll wait to see if it does that again. But for me now, I'm going to leave Intel alone. If anything, I think it's a long.
See Bitcoin creeping up over 61,000 there on your screen, Katina, man. Good look for crypto midday. Up next, here is Apple. Interesting headline today. First, we got that negative catalyst saying that some of the Chinese e-commerce retailers were selling the iPhones at a discount. The new iPhone, the 16, specifically the 16 Plus, the larger version, was selling at up to 10%. The 16 Pro Max was selling up to 4% discounted. That came in earlier. Later in the day, we did get this little tidbit from JP Morgan that they're in talks with Apple to take over the credit card business. We know Goldman want to get out of that. So that didn't really either affect JPM stock or Apple stock. We reported on it, but there wasn't much of a move, guys.
And it's still not much of a move relative to yesterday. This is one of the only stocks, very quickly, I'm just going to go over to SoFi, quickly show you. I was in SoFi a second time here. Well, the second time. We had it earlier in the day. The 820 long, it couldn't break into that 830 where I wanted to add to it. Just took it long again off 820. It just came back into the downside. So that just came out. Wanted to show you guys. Apple, still yesterday's range is actually still, it's bigger than today. You never got to that 217.25 that we're mentioning this morning where support was resistance yesterday. So I feel as if we got up there, I wanted to be shorted. I did short this level last time. It was here in the morning. I felt like the market was going to press up enough and get it into that 217, but that's where I'm kind of eyeballing. Like it's into 217 quarter that I like, and clearly 215 is support on Apple. Basically, like it's flat on the day. Nasdaq is flat. It's not like it's doing anything outsized. It's not a ton of movement feel like it's just squaring up to make a run, one or the other. Like that 17 or that 15 is going to break. I'm not sure it'll happen today, though. I think that could just be waiting for tomorrow and the Fed here on Apple. Inside day for them. Plenty of stocks did more than this. So Apple kind of sideways. That news ended up not being that big of a deal. But we knew, I mean, come on, they're always selling that stuff at discounts. It happens every single cycle.
So yesterday on the sticky note, we had 215 written down. We don't have it written down today, but it holds again. So that's true. Neil's got it there. We did talk about that level, and it held one more time. I've just been getting short here. I don't think it's a short, actually, to be honest with you. It's having a real hard time going down. We got stopped out twice there. And then I was like, what am I even doing stopping out? I got to at least use this 40 area. So once it came back up where we put on a little bit more shares, just giving ourselves about a 10-cent stop. And now we're able to cash out. Now it's just 10 cents in the money, but we got some 08s there, and I believe in maybe 08 was our best. Hold on one second. 07 actually. So you know, so far so good on the downside, but it's not cracking. It's not cracking at all. Yesterday we were back and forth with the Nasdaq at this time of day, and not much had happened. So I don't, you know, we'll chart the futures as we go through this afternoon, and we'll look to see if there's going to be some relative movement or volatility possible. But I just remember yesterday, I don't think anything really happened until the end, like the last maybe 20 or 30 minutes, but we'll double check that as the afternoon goes on. And right now we'll sort of try to sit on these old hands here and see if we can get a push. At least a VWAP would be nice, which is just 216. So that's where my bid is right now. I have a bid at, oh no, they got filled. Yeah, my best bid was 216.07. So, you know, I'll probably put another one down there. And then if we get that, great. And then we'll try to hold for a break lower. We're still short the futures now as well. So maybe they go, maybe it doesn't. But Apple, pretty impressive today, to be honest with you. I like how it did hold that 215.
The old hands?
Yeah, I got to sit on these old hands now. Yeah.
When I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, most people would disagree when you turn 21. Like I know in certain places, some places 21's an adult, not 18.
I get I may look 21, and I do appreciate that, but I'm 27. I don't know why everybody keeps...
Keep moving these goalposts in there.
Yeah.
Was that
like
just
I've been allowed
Muppets?
to drink for 5 years. Is that what? Oh yeah.
Oh, that's.
Is that? Okay. It kind of does look like you guys.
It does.
Which one's Ramin there? On the right, I guess.
Yeah. By default, the one without the mustache.
Without the mustache, yeah.
Sava's still going.
Longer hair. We need longer hair.
Because Sava Science is still going up.
Did we get that news yet?
No, they haven't.
Oh, by the way, check out the top.
No, you can look at the top there, but I don't.
You see S&P briefly in new high intraday, record highs. Right there. Okay, let's go back over to Sharif, and then we'll get this guy out of here so we can go to the gym.
Okay, Sean. Palantir, another day, another headline. Guys, they inked a new multi-year, multi-million-dollar agreement with Nebraska Health, or Nebraska Medicine, excuse me. It's basically to use their AIP software, which they're looking to use for transformative technologies. It just goes, just a little tidbit here that Aunt Kathy was selling some Palantir yesterday, but baby shares, about 4,000 some odd shares. But that's a hell of a double bottom there, guys, at 36.
Oh, it wasn't actually 4,000. I was about to check
still a decent amount of
Kathy's
shares,
art.
isn't it? 4,000 times 30.
I'm pretty sure her position's got to be a lot bigger than that. That was it?
4,400. Well, that is.
Oh, it was only 4,000?
Well, you're checking. Put it on the screen, man. If you're
1
checking
second.
it.
Well, I don't. Which one is it in? First of all,
Main one.
it's in the main.
Isn't it?
Let me go PLTR. Control F. PLTR. Oh yeah, it's a very small amount of their holdings. It's like number 24.
Fail.
So yeah, you know what? I guess it's really not that big, and then you just always go to the trades and Palantir. No, it's just 13,000
There it is.
was sold.
Have been offloaded.
Okay. Well, this is last week on the 13th, so maybe there's another one that.
I mean, when's the last time Kathy Wood actually took profit on something? That's
but look at this. Like if you look at the changes, the ARK ETF,
Kathy.
there was a bigger sell on the 11th.
down Apple.
184,000 on the 11th, actually on Palantir. Palantir stunk today for myself. Let me just throw that back up because we can always refer to that later. It tried to bounce early, and I think what we should have done is you just got to wait for it to make a defined low. You know, and sometimes you get caught up in the whole, yeah, we're going to take it into the pre-market. I'm going to get long into here and give it into that previous resistance level. So that stops out. And then you take another shot when it goes. I can zoom in a little bit more. And then you take another shot when it goes off of this level in the afternoon, and then it could not hold it. But when you wait for something to make a defined bottom, like here it goes to VWAP, but then it double taps there, and then you try to grab it here, maybe on a higher low, like that's the more patient trade. Or when it double bottoms in there, that's a better shot. I feel like now that it's above VWAP, a bit of a break with the market making a bit of a wick bottom
Yeah, get that.
to 19.6. If it can break back out, VWAP looks pretty solid for PTLTR breaking 36.40. But they took some profits on Palantir, no question about it. And it wasn't just Palantir. You look at that chart, it's been a good one, getting added to the S&P 500 at the end of the week. Exactly the same thing happened to Dell, which is the other name going into the index. So Dell suffering pretty much the same fate. Dell will have to wait for a breakout of 120.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this does feel, they both feel like they're going to lose VWAP. I'm going to go reload my Intel position. But yeah, Palantir, I think on Friday you're going to get some great action at the close. Until then, it's clearly got a bit of a wall at that 37 level.
All right, I just wanted to say Apple did make that move down to the downside right there. So we were starting to cover some Apple. I mean, we said that we'd get some out if it broke in and around O's, and we got some 07s, and we got some at 10. I didn't actually realize that I was sitting at the 200 period, and then we should have been even a little bit lower than that one. So let's go over and talk about our friends at Trade the Pool, because no more important thing than becoming a funded trader these days. You can trade with the firm's capital. Trade with the firm's money instead of your own. At Trade the Pool, you first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing your risk. Once you prove yourself and pass, you can get access to up to $260,000 in buying power, in which buy you will keep up to 80% of your profits while the firm covers the risk. It's a perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Then join Trade the Pool. Please make sure to scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. I would do both if I were you guys, and make sure you get all those details from Trade the Pool. And if you do join, any sort of prop trading floor, or one where maybe you'll have the opportunity to put on more trades at less of a cost, and you're not paying retail to do anything. You're not paying $10 a trade or $2 a trade or anything like that. We are trading here at Real Trading, playing pennies per trade, and some trades even getting paid to add liquidity to these levels. And we could do lessons on that when the time is right. But for right now, I just want to explain that's why we scalp out when things like this happen. And it's just kind of like right on cue. Now you rip right back up to the upside. I said I was not happy with Apple today, and that it felt like to me that it was relatively strong. And just as of now, like, I don't know what, the market's not doing anything, so maybe this is not really a valid opinion because it's not a relative strength one. It's just, I'm looking at this, man, and trying to read tape, and I'm not getting the feel that this stock wants to go down. That flush was pretty immature, not pretty immature, we got out of it, but we could have got out of more, and I think that we should do that next time. Let's put some more bids down here just in case we get that opportunity one more time, because for me, right now, I'm not, I'm not in love, needless to say, with this short here on Apple. Our stop, just so everybody again is under the same impression here on the same page, my stop is below this, above this level at 216.40. So that's where we're looking to get stopped out on right now on Apple. So if that does run that, we're out of it. So just want to give everyone sort of that heads up there, and that's about it.
So I still haven't heard specific news on Sava Sciences. It's just seemingly to me, and I just checked Twitter, didn't find anything, but it's breaking out either way. There's a daily on Sava. It's on 1.5 million shares. You're through this 32-quarter, resistance level, and it's been battling at this price. So this is essentially where you find that support on the daily, and it's battling at this price, trying to get out above. I'm just going to double check to make sure. Do we have locates on this to go short? We do not. So if I want to go short, I'm going to have to go pay for some locates, which I'm going to price after this. I'm not in any hurry to short it. If it fails at this price, I'd be looking for some kind of a lower high anyways. But it is at that key price level. And that GLMD, which was one of the names we just went through on the rundown, it halted down. It didn't quite get to that $16 level, that previous halt resistance, and turned at 17 instead of 16, and now busting out the highs one more time on GLMD. This for sure, I know we don't have any locates on, and this is a blue sky setup. So this is definitely squeezing. I feel like Sava's at a level that it could run into a little bit of trouble. I just saw in the chat there, the random asking again about Tesla. Tesla's falling asleep down here. Great name. I love the names in the chat, the random. It is random. But yeah, Tesla's falling asleep in here. 50-cent range for the last 10 to 15 minutes here. Needs to do something. The market's busting back out, it seems, and Tesla does not want to go. I got the old eyeballs on Palantir here because this.
Hey, how come you're allowed to say old eyeballs, but I'm not allowed to say old hands?
I did that on.
Did you?
No, that one I just kind of did on purpose.
Did you get bamboozled by that one, or?
Well, no, it was. Well, I tried to weasel my way in.
Weasel your way
with
in.
that comment.
Okay.
But it was a little bamboozling when you called me out on it,
It
like
was a
that.
little bit bamboozling. Okay. Just making sure.
There was a word Sharif used
making
this
sure
morning.
that there's no flat bottom breaks happening, or that
Yeah.
no one's getting bamboozled,
Hang on a second.
or that nobody is right now aggressively journaling. You want to aggressively journal after you're done trading. You can aggressively journal during as well. You know, there's lots happening. Yeah, so your old eyeballs are looking at what again?
Palantir trying to break out this local high at 36.40. There you go. But before we get to this, because if I say stock is about to break a level, you know it's not going to happen for half an hour. That's just the rules. Shout out to you, Cutco Kareem. Happy birthday, Sean. Thank you for all you do in the trading community. I hope this next year of your life is the best yet. That's all you can ever do.
It won't be. The best years of my life was the years when my kids are born.
Well, see, that's
and then
the,
my wedding and everything like that. So it's hard to beat that. But I'll take it.
You can always beat it.
Take it. You can. You can always beat everything.
You can always beat it.
It could be our most profitable year.
It can always be. Well, also too, like
it won't because of our survival pool, though. I mean, we're already eliminated.
Why you got to bring that up, man?
Because, man, I'm still bitter about that.
Made some bad picks.
Can we re-enter?
Made some bad picks.
We should be able to re-enter.
See, I don't know why he doesn't allow, like the guy.
But then I guess
people would pay double to get
almost
back
like
in.
to start a new one. Because like if you
we've never gone down in week 2 before. 20 years.
Did we ever figure out what percentage of the pool is out?
Oh, I can check.
Yeah, because that would be interesting.
I'm only in Intel, and this is not
feel
breaking,
a little bit better.
I'll check.
But thank you again so much, Cutco, for that. And of course, yeah, I think this could be the best year of our life. So, and hopefully it's the best year of our trading lives for all of us there. And we learn more. And even if it's not, we'll get back up there and keep on trading.
What's so funny?
That sound familiar? All right. Right. Yeah, that is right. You could always have
Marissa
more
was
children,
in the chat this morning.
but it will not be with a different wife.
Still 1,000
Of
people.
course, I can barely afford one wife, let alone two. So, you know.
Oh, man.
Maybe that one.
924 of 3,800 are still left.
924 of 38.
So like
20%.
20, yeah, just over.
It's under 25.
We did really bad. That's really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like there's other
We
people.
lost 10 entries when other people. So Intel just came out, reloaded into.
this is why I'm
quickly, we'll go
thinking
back to trading here.
Horrible.
Intel came right back to my entry price and just kind of wicked the top in there. It was the only short I had was right when the market was rolling over, it was putting in a lower high, and then we got that. There was like a weird dump that happened at, what's that, 139-ish or to 140. But now you made a bit of a wick bottom.
There goes Apple.
There's no, you know what? I just got wicked out. I'm jumping right back in. There's a bar missing.
Let's go. It's my birthday. Nice move down there for Apple. We just get a birthday present on that one as it comes right into 216 there. So, yeah, some trades are working out here and some trades not. But right now, Micron was a great take for us, during the midday show. We only have 10% left, but this was a great one up to VWAP. We bought this Micron dip at 87.70 again. And it came right into that level, sort of these pre-market, or was it even the pre-market? Yeah, no. I guess, yeah, days low, I'll say. Some of those levels made, right in the pre-market up here, but it's really this action that we took it off of. So that turns out to be a fantastic look for us on Micron there, as that goes all the way up. And we should have taken it out at the 200 period for sure. But again, just sort of choosing to go the other way on a beat up name, right? I mean, Micron's been beat up for the last little while. We've talked about that. And I mean, look, we had the feeling about Intel there. We knew the foundry. We knew that. The reason why I like Intel a little bit is we do have the Dow. We do know that there's a lot of old money in Intel. There might not be.
No, I'm good, thanks.
There's a lot of traders that are maybe sitting on their hands on Intel shares and not selling. This is so depressed. I don't know if I get the same opinion on Micron, but if you're looking at a daily chart here on MU, I mean, I almost think this is a good opportunity again to take a very, very similar risk. And you don't want to do it today. Tomorrow's Fed. So if you want to get a starter position today, fine, like 10 or 15% of something, not financial advice, but just something I think that you would consider. I mean, I don't think any of us would want to layer into a trade all in day before Fed unless you really had some kind of a feeling about. I mean, even if they go half a point, I think the market goes down. If they go quarter point, I think the market goes up. So you play those odds. But right there, 86.40 anyways, 85. Let's just say you drop it to 85. But I like the risk and reward on this one for Micron, but that's not why we took this into the pre-market low, as I said, or early day low. And we just took it there, about 30 or 40 cents worth of risk to make about 70 there, up to VWAP. And we're still 60 cents in the money.
Havana's holding.
And then Apple. Yeah, actually, Carvana, okay.
No, Havana Woody is holding his Intel.
Oh, hey, Dominic. Also holding his Intel as well. Dominic. I thought you said Carvana.
Dominic Familaro.
Yeah, what's up? I saw Dominic, my Wisconsin paisan over there. I was thinking that.
Go Big Ten.
Yeah, Big Ten. Oh, wasn't it USC was in the Big Ten for the first time or somebody? This past weekend I was watching it and they're like, welcome to the Big Ten. It was a big team.
There's a lot of shakeup.
Yeah,
now.
there's
Texas is an SEC. That's just weird to me.
Yeah. Someone knew, I think.
No sense to me.
But maybe it was SEC. Maybe it was SEC. But anyways, okay. So Apple's trying to hold out hope here. The market retraced back down. I'm debating this short right there, but it has to be at the 50-period moving average. Other than that, man, just chilling. I guess I can cancel my Micron low bid right now. Yeah, we can get a little creative here.
Tesla's tanking and breaking the low of the day. By the way, Sava already broke down at that resistance on the daily. I did get the locates, not quite fast enough, but it goes right to that resistance on the daily in one shot on the 3-minute, right back into 31. I'd like to see a lower high and maybe push back into 32, some kind of a lower high to play it into VWAP if we can even get it. But it's Tesla that wasn't like two minutes ago, wasn't doing anything. Now it's breaking down. Now 227 is about to go, but 226 is your support level from yesterday. Actually, yesterday in the afternoon, because in the morning it went all the way down to 223.7. So 226 first, probably gets some kind of a bounce there. I think the day before Fed, usually you find big support levels. Previous closes tend to hold up a little bit, but Tesla looks like a short, man. Like it's not picking up. I don't think it's going to press back into 230 to be able to get a great price in there, or even 229. Just going to have to work somewhere else. So I'm just reloaded into Intel after getting wicked out, and Palantir's not going to break anytime soon. Tesla about to take this 227. I feel like that can be a breakdown trade. The other thing which should be a reversal, I think it's going to be set up to continue to head to the downside, is Affirm. It double topped and could not break 45. I had 45.01 the first time. I had 45.02 the second time. Both times out very quickly when it just couldn't go. It would go pennies above the 45 level and then reverse. Now putting in some lower highs under 44. So after failing this level 2 days in a row, I got to feel like Affirm is a short in the short term off this 44 level. So short the pops, not nearly as strong as it was yesterday. Looking like it's given some back.
Remember, Neil, there's very, very weak demand for iPhones, and Affirm is partnered up with Apple. So, you want to be careful with that one, of course. All right. Thank you, Rivian Millionaire. I think it is important for everybody to identify their edge. And on that note, you mentioned my edge might be identifying levels. Well, I'm going to identify a level right here. And again, it's not rocket science on this one. A break of 88.20. And we're out. We do have, actually, it's 5% left of this Micron trade. We have less than I thought of this trade. So that's what I'm worried about right now. My biggest position is Apple, but Apple is now about 25% left of what we would have had up there. We were waiting for a little bit more. And again, the risk to reward on this one was 13 pennies, a 40 break or so. And now we're in the money. Well, I mean, when it gets down there, 20 cents, we're in the money 20 cents right now. So a little bit of a one-to-one action right now on Apple. I'm not in love with it. Let's go find something else. The biggest trade of the day for me by far is right here. This was monstrous. I actually was going out to actually wasn't getting my drink. I don't know where I was. Oh no, that was true. Yeah, right before 2 o'clock. So I went short the Nasdaq right here, right? I mean, we were at these levels. I like the trade. Here it is on the 20-minute chart. The 50-period moving average was right there. So I just shorted the Nasdaq. And I left bids near basically low of day and everything like that, and they all came in. So that was actually based off of these levels from yesterday's low. So we actually get printed all the way down there. This is 66.60. This is 65.50. on your birthday, you get free admission anyways into the Dollar Club, but we've had it right there pretty good. That was boom to the downside, and by far my #1 P&L name today. And look at the ability. And I actually think Rivian Millionaire, this is something else that I've been getting better at also, and that is that the old flip up, and is that we were long early on the TQs, right? So these were good trades, long and out, like long, but theirs stopped out, burned back in, perfect. Out of probably the last 20, 25%, can't recall. But then the minute we started to go underneath everything, like these were trying to play off some lows here, right? But the minute that this kept on, rejecting, and we got that sense that maybe there was a short trying to brew here, we do go long down into here off of some of these levels from yesterday. But then once those fail, man, then it was just let's play off the 50-period moving average and start hitting the shorts back at these same levels that we were once defending. So it's like, I don't think we were ever red on the futures today, but now we are hella green. And it's just by far, just to tell you, it's not even, there's nothing else that's even close. Like it's 7 times more than my next best trade as far as the P&L is concerned. So that's what the Nasdaq is doing. And I was saying earlier that I'm 4 for 4 today, but I think we've just taken another trade, 4 wins, 4 losses today. But we just put on, no, I think that's about right. But we entered AMD. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's just having the confidence and being able to hold stuff and then getting these fills, when your stops haven't even hit yet, those are what makes a difference for me. And that's something that I've really, really learned to do a little bit better on. Apple, here it comes again. So again, in that same vein of trying to be disciplined, I have a bid at 92. I'm just going to punch them. There it is. Punch them out now and cancel that 92. So we get some 95s out. Here comes Apple. It's 30 cents in the money. It's a 3-to-1 trade right here. And we talked about it when it was up here. So hopefully you guys are able to hold on to this one. Let's see where Apple goes. I'm hoping lower.
Yeah, I think at this point,
Micron's back.
Like it's kind of going sideways in there. I've gotten 2/3 of Intel out there, and I don't know if I want to reload it again. I'm going to get to Sava Sciences. So it wicked out, jumped right back in after it did so, but it's putting in a higher low. Off the same level, you're getting a higher low. So no reload in this particular case. If it breaks it out, I think we could see VWAP on Intel. If you zoom out, get bigger picture on this, all you've done is almost dip into 21, which was yesterday's high. So not quite, but still making a good bid to hold in front of that 21 and then put in this higher low once again. So if the market does want to break 19.7, I think Intel's going to get into VWAP. Sava looks to me like it's on the back end here. After big reversal, this is where resistance was on the daily, about 32.25. So I wanted to see it test 32, which hasn't happened just yet. This is not a halt. That'll probably paint in a couple of seconds or so. But 32, I want to see it put in a lower high, a nice little defined lower high. And then I want to short this one back into VWAP. There's another stock halted, but I'm not familiar with it. GLMD for everyone out there. That failed the high, but I didn't pay for locates on this one. So it did fail the high and start pulling back in. Just feels Sava was a little bit more direct in that Sava went right to a level on the daily, pulled right back, pretty much exactly what you wanted it to do. Still Palantir. Man, it's trying to break 36.40. It's been chilling out at 36.50, 36.35 for the last 10 minutes without a break. So a bit of a nothing burger happening in Palantir for that break. NVIDIA, it just heard something on it, but it wicked at 115.
No, it's nothing. They're looking to acquire some small software company.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
this is still trending to the downside, and you still have to wait for it to get to yesterday's low at about 114.40. So looking for something outside of Sava Sciences, which is doing anything big, as it's now trying to make its push up. I'm just looking for a lower high to fade, give it to the local top, and see if it gets back into VWAP. Bora Hout saying Upstart's near high of the day. That could be worth watching. I'll throw Sava up somewhere else because we know Upstart had a huge move the other day. Look, anytime, I'm not saying Upstart moves the same way that Affirm does, but I feel a lot of times they do. But Upstart, not yet at 38.5. Okay, no breakout, still room to go, but it's probably going to run into trouble up here. Am I missing some data? No, it's not. About 38 to 38.5, but it's just making a break. That looks pretty solid. Volume 11 million shares. Volume light for the afternoon, but that's kind of par for the course right now you're not getting huge volumes. So to expect that you'd be doing big volumes going into the top end, who cares? This is something that's very strong at this moment. You want strong stocks. You want stocks going into new price areas to try some trades. If a firm, and maybe Sava's going to give it to us, certainly Palantir's just stopped moving altogether. Thought that would be an opportunity. Pulling back in here on Upstart. I'm going to take a look at this, see how it looks back around the previous high, 37.20, but I like the look Bora out.
Bora out.
I love that.
Whoopsies. All right. Whoop. Ooh, all right, 66. 66.81s here. All right, just getting set up here because I want to take on a little bit more risk if the Nasdaq does come back up. So I was just thinking about, again, stopping out if we break through 80s up here and averaging in and getting some more shares if we come back up into the 200 period moving average on the Nasdaq. So we're getting lighter. We're getting lighter and lighter on all of this. So Apple, we're getting lighter on. And I just want to say something. Let's props it up. And let's do a little bit of this. Why not? It's my birthday. We'll fight. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I do it no matter what the day is. But here we go. We're almost $1 in the money now on Micron. We did have our stop right there. I'm thinking about just taking this out. But the thing about this trade would be, of course, is that what if, right? What if the market wants to actually go up? That could be interesting if that actually happens. What happened? Something all clear, he just
Wayne
said.
just said something.
All right, good. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take this out if it breaks back down below VWAP. I feel like that's a little irresponsible to not do that because if the market does go the other way, we have to be risk managers. Join me and Brian Shannon, another great risk manager tonight on the Market Recap Show, where we will go over everything risk and trade related. The king of anchored VWAP will be with me at the end of the day on the Market Recap Show. All right, so thank you, David, Daweed in the chat. All right, so that's when my out's going to be out for Micron. Otherwise, let's hold it, man. It's a 70-cent winner for you on Micron. Uber, okay, so Uber, my out's right here if you wanted to guess that. We've already hit this one real good. We have about 20% left of this, breaking through 85 and we're out. And we are trying to get a little more short though on this name. We should be offering 80s. So if that comes up into the 80 level, we'll get a little bit more on that one. And when Neil said,
so all
Sava
that happened,
or Carvana or whatever you said there, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, so I got into Sava here at 31.96. So our manager just yelled something out, the risk manager. It looks like the Hawaiian, that the HA deal has kind of, cleared is not the right word, it's firmed up, so it looks like that's going to go through at 18 cash.
All clear.
Yeah, so.
All aboard.
I don't know, we'll see what happens with that, but it's Sava Sciences that we did get into. As it made that lower high, I was looking for a curl at 32. I mean, it wicked 32, got to 32, 15 or 16, back underneath 32, so I grabbed the short at 96, going to get some out at the half, and then I feel like 31 is going to be the next level in on Sava Sciences. Still no breakdown in Tesla yet. So 27 is holding for Tesla, but it was just Sava. And the reason we like 32 is this is the daily chart. So there is your resistance at 32 quarter. This is where, when I'm looking for a place to turn, if it basically obliges and then sets up the lower high, then that's the trade I want. I like the fact that it had the level on the daily. So risking about 30 pennies, and then we'll go 1-to-1 at about 34, 30 to 40 cents as well. Palantir still have, I mean, look at the long consolidation on Palantir. Like, I'm still bidding for this breakout here on PLTR. It's just a matter of it actually happening. So, I'd like to see it break this 40. This is just when I put the order in. You can see when I put the stop order in for it to break 40, I'm crossing to like 45. That's all. I'll probably get filled at 41 or 42. That's just how they work. So, yeah, John J, HA, it's got like 1 million shares on the offer at 18 because there's zero reason for anyone to buy higher than $18. You're getting $18 cash for it. So, there's probably still a little bit of arb for them to sell right now. And I don't know if the deal is going to close in a day or two or maybe end of the week or on a Friday, whatever it is. It's not going to move. If it does move, that would just be weird. So I don't think there's going to be much of a trade there in HA. Just I heard the news or heard something was going on, wanted to pop it up on that volume. GLMD not doing a heck of a lot, so we'll have to wait a little bit on that one. So Palantir trying to break out. We just jumped into Sava. Tesla is holding the line at 27. But I feel like if it loses 27, we could be headed down to that 26 support from yesterday. So those are the trades that we got lined up. When Palantir breaks, we'll let you guys know, and I'm keeping an eye on that Upstart. Because Upstart looks like the runner that is not wanting to pull back. I was looking for a pullback into prior resistance. Upstart did not dip. It's just continuing its rip. So good shout out, Bora Hout. Looks like you got yourself a runner.
Yeah, we got to find running names. It looks like, I mean, the market seems like it wants to do absolutely nothing, which is why we're just sitting around. And let's go over and talk about crypto. This is a 15-minute chart. Ah, man, it's like, what? I mean, this is a big break there for Bitcoin. Up over 60,000, now hitting $60,100. I mean, 60,869 right now. That's 61,250 as the top. I mean, what a great move. And again, ahead of Fed, right? I mean, what is this really saying to us now? I don't know. Why is crypto going back up to the upside here? Are people trying to hedge out of some equity, get into crypto? Are we nervous about what 50 basis points might do to the equity market? So we're rotating into Bitcoin. I don't know. I've sort of been looking at some of the relationships between crypto and the Nasdaq, and I still think that relationship is relatively strong. When the Nasdaq has a decent day, most of the time, and I have to, maybe I should ask Michael Noss to see if he can. Okay, nice move down in Apple. Can verify this, but right now it's a huge move up there for Bitcoin, and it just kind of got going right away today. Like as soon as the market opened up here, 10 a.m. It looks like we just shot going, gapped up there. So I feel like we're missing something because unless this was just a frozen quote, like 59 right there to 59.4 and then going. So nice movement. Okay, my bad. We'll get over this in 1 second because guess what's happening right now? Let's go and spin it one more time. And it is a nice move down for our friend Apple. And there, look at that bid. We're here. I want to thank everybody for all the talk in the chat all the time about how they really appreciate giving these trade ideas, putting these positions on, holding them for extended winners, just to show everybody that, hey, if you're in this game, there's so many ways to go back and forth with trading. And it's like, I've really added the long game into the trading. And I really feel like it's added so much to being able to watch these profits come through. Like even now holding just a smaller piece, obviously, of this trade, we're holding about 20% now. It's still making a difference, and getting that fill down here at 80s instead of just waxing it all out at VWAP, even though I was getting frustrated with it. It's about believing in yourself, and that's what Rivian, thank you, Adam, and that's what Rivian Millionaire was saying there too. It's being able to hold on to them that really does make the difference, and I think that is true. So I want to thank you for that one. And then like right now, getting frustrated with Uber. So right now we're at the 50-period moving average, so we'll wait to do on that one. And then when you're disciplined and a risk manager, sometimes this happens as well. So we'll go diamond hands on that one. We'll take 75 cents on the Micron trade from there to there. We only had 5% left, so it breaks through 50. We get out. I think we got a 48 fill there. So all good on that one. Apple right now is kind of puking all over itself while the market's not doing anything. So I'm just going to I just tried to buy 72s there and missed it. Okay, so right here, this is a 50-cent winner. So let's go, man. Let's hit the sirens up there. It's 50 cents on Apple while the market's doing nothing. And there we go. We get a nice 72 fill. Let's go, man. Bring the pain down. 50 cents in the money on the market, 50 cents on 70 cents now on Apple, 40 cents on Uber. We're starting to bleed, and your boys got the short. So I really appreciate everybody watching and all the words on the chat.
Yeah, I love it over there. Let's get this market into the downside. I'm not reloading on Intel, but we are taking the break of Tesla at 227. We're going to stick a fork in our good friend Palantir breaking to the upside because when the market's coming down, I think it's very unlikely it's going to break up. I'm just canceling that order. But I feel like imminently we're about to break this 227 here on Tesla. There it goes. Got some 90s.
What is even going on?
And there is, when the Nasdaq just accelerated into the downside. I didn't hear anything. It's not like there's any news going on there, but we just broke that even dollar. And they give us back into the quarters here, and just get the stop order going.
Nice.
Right,
we're all short
there. Well, Sava doesn't care about the market, remember? Like, Sava's going to do its own thing. But I'm looking for a potential, if we do a double take here at 227, it could always pop back up. Breakdowns at the end of the day or late in the day are always going to be a little bit tricky because it could pop right back up. If it retests, I want to be out at the quarter and looking for another short opportunity because everyone takes a breakout. They want to quickly scalp it. So I want to make sure we get profit on it. Try to come back in here at that 227.70 or so. And Intel's not going with this move. Like, it's barely moving. I got another one of those missing candles on Intel. That's weird. I guess it'll fill in because the other one did. But we just got, like Intel just went 10 cents and Tesla broke the low there for a break. And Intel's barely even going. That's looking a little bit laggish on Intel. The more I think about this, I didn't reload the last trade. We're still going to get out above 2160, and I'm not going to reload that. It's barely moving. It's not making fresh lows when we just tested the low as well. So we got to watch out here. I think this might get a break into VWAP if it doesn't start accelerating along with the market. But we just got to fill at that 2150 level. We'll look for a reload. I think it's just going to be get back into Tesla. Like the break never went further than 226.67. I got pretty close to the low of that move. And then it snapped right back above 227. So the very, very quick move underneath on Tesla. And it could not hold that bid.
We are definitely doing some damage right now. Uber's 35 cents in the money and getting to the downside. So I feel like I am going to put a bid here and try and get the fill. But the thing about all of this is, if you feel lost in the noise of the market, then guess what you need? It's what's in my ear right now. It's Benzinga Pro platform. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need. So as I'm wondering why this market's falling, I'm waiting to hear from Benzinga. Get faster trades, real-time news, unusual options activity. We'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today, and make sure to also click the link in the description. All right, Uber. Dun, 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 dun. I had that story about having chicken shawarmas, and I think that might be.
Is that actually happening?
I don't know. I mean, it's what. Honestly,
Marissa literally said it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she did. Did she say shawarma party? Or
yes,
something?
she did.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, my daughter was as I said, she's in love with everything. And then we had some tandoori chicken yesterday, and my kids loved that. I was like, my son's not gonna like tandoori chicken, and he crushed it. So right there. All right. I don't know if it's ominous or not, but look at that TQQ at the bottom where we're short. 6666. I actually just noticed that right now. But when you're short 6666 and it's at 6598, that is a making trade right there. So there it goes, man. And we talked about how the TQs were our number one trading vehicle today, and that appears to be happening for us again as we get back into the downside here. Monster trades on board. Neil's got Tesla, Intel. We've got Apple 70 cents, the Q's 70 cents, Uber 40 cents. And I mean, we've just been sitting in these, man, the whole time. The biggest trade that I hope that most of you are in for sure would be Apple, because that was really the only one that we were building while we've been on the show. Everything else has sort of just been where it is. Palantir, I'm going to completely flush myself down the toilet and tell you that by far, this is I am almost 10x red on this that I'm on anything else red. And it's just, we kept on trying. We tried right here again at 36.20. This was a good trade, so we made back some there. It was really in here where we lost on that drip, and we were live on the air at that time. So 10:30 when it sort of took out that bottom. I mean, here's knowing that was the bottom, but we got back in, made some back there.
Ruh-roh NVIDIA.
Sure, ruh-roh NVIDIA, good. Yeah, because ruh-roh market right now too. But yeah, nice move to the downside there for Palantir today. Only now down 0.13. I don't think it's the end of the world by any stretch, but definitely not a healthy stock here today as you're underneath VWAP. And this 36.40 area looks like a pretty good short to me. We are out of it. But we are not out of anything yet. I mean, the TQs continues its march lower. Apple continues its march lower. Uber continues its march lower. And our net continues its march higher. So far, so good on all of that one. Let's just find another trade. I got to go short. I'm not going long anything.
Shaggy937 says, up UPST interacting with the 38 level. I've never heard that term used before in trading, and I like it. Interacting, I think, might mean pulling back at the $38 level for Upstart. Look, I don't know, man. You got a strong stock. It feels like, yeah, you should be a fade at that level, but why short a strong stock? Let's just focus on weaker ones here. Tesla was not a good long this morning, but already 27 looks like it wants to make a test of that 26. I didn't reload Intel, but it is annoying. Like I didn't reload the third time. It just can't seem to break 21, about 35 in here. It's not a flat bottom break per se, but it's very close to that low, and the Nasdaq just kind of wicked in this bottom. Tried to make the break to low today. So anything that was breaking lower, you wanted to have at least tested some of the morning levels like the market just did. So now that you've broken the floor, when we come back, do we retest afternoon, like languishing sideways support at 19.64? That could be a nice little reload spot for anything that you still like to the south side. Jade liking Palantir leaps, 227. And Palantir's probably fine for the long term. My only concern with Palantir is they already started profit taking today. So you could see it happen when you try to catch those bids. And then the other side is, we've seen this happen before, the same story. You get added to the S&P 500, they rally going into it, it gets added, next week they're selling on it. And sometimes the selling slows down and stops like it did with Uber and it bounces. Other times you get an SMCI situation. I think it'll be more like Uber than it will be like SMCI, where SMCI just never caught a bid after its inclusion. Speaking of SMCI, October 1st, SMCI splits. And I cannot think of a single stock that has ever announced a split because it was super high priced and then dropped the way that it did. So like it's a very big difference in what this was in July to where it is now. Like now a $438 stock. Like this was threatening 1,000 when everyone wanted the split, and all of a sudden can't seem to catch a bid over there in SMCI. All right, going to look for that reload over here in Tesla as that's starting to come back into that quarter range. So it again double tapped the $0.50. This time, we'll see if it makes another reload until I'm not reloading at all. And Palantir might not be dead. It still has a chance to make that breakout. Even with the market going down, Palantir is still within striking distance of breaking 40. It's just at 36.30. It barely fell.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. That's the problem. All right, so we got lighter on Apple, obviously as it fell into that level there. We sat there with a bid. It's coming up to VWAP again. I mean, this could be another short opportunity for Apple, but the way that just fell down, it could drop easily one more time. I am going to try a short at a more aggressive area. So now what I'm doing is cleaning up all my stop orders, right? And just saying to myself, you're going to change your plan, because if we wait all the way up here, then we've blown through all these levels now. Now that we're underneath it, we'll play these as resistance areas for Apple. Apple right now, basically with the market, I mean, that was a nice move down. That happened. So it's kind of like just trading the futures. We could get into the futures same way right here, but I'd rather almost wait for that same kind of trade that we were waiting for anyways, 66.50. So I think Apple's a trade here. I'm going to wait at that 216, like 90 area. We'll put on some shares there right here if we're lucky enough to get it. And then if we break higher, 216, 216. Okay, good. 216, not Austin, 316. 216.11 will be our stop. I just got to make sure my other stop is canceled, or else it will not accept two simultaneous stops. So right there, we'll put that on there. Hey, if it continues to fall, good on us, and we will wait for that one. But for right now, more shares if it comes up to this sort of wick, which is right, we were just put it there at 89. And then we'll get out if it breaks slightly higher above 216. So a trade that we're working on right there. Micron, we got out for here for flat. No big reports, I don't think, tonight. No, so we'll find out about that later on. But yeah,
someone was supposed to have an event today. Was it
what else did I write down?
Was the firm supposed to have an event?
A firm? I don't know.
I thought they were. I'm going to double check.
Probably know that.
I thought they were supposed to have something today. I could be wrong about that. For sure this week for a firm. You guys let me know in the chat. I'll get a chance to look. Apparently Adara knows, and she is going to message us. So when I said Palantir wasn't dropping that much, here's what I meant. Like Palantir was just cresting, looking for that breakout. It dropped, kind of held a higher low. As long as it doesn't lose this 36.2, like we had this little bit of a wick bottom, see, it just held the line there. It still could be a breakout, relatively strong, I'd like to see. So yeah, firm had the JP Morgan US All-Stars conference today. Oh, so it might have already happened. All right. So I guess that was a disappointment because it lost that 45 and kind of trending down.
Right.
Yeah, that should probably just be a safe short. If this thing is done, and this has already happened, and it can't get back above 44, morning support, afternoon resistance seems pretty easy to me. So Tesla, first two times good, third time not going to be a charm on the breakdown. So we had it once, twice, OB thrice, and Tesla wants to go back into the upside. Never went better than 226.5. So it does break that 27. Technically, it broke it twice. Twice, it would give you that $0.50 move. And then the third time, it looks like it's headed back into the upside. So if I get a long, I think it's going to be Palantir 36.40. I'm putting that, it's back at 30, I'm putting the stop order in. I had canceled it when the market moved down, but this didn't go with it. So Palantir still has a chance to make that breakout. We're just hitting power hour now, so you got plenty of time to go. Yeah, but if the conference is done, I like Affirm. If it can come in, fail 44, as long as the simple fact is you've double topped essentially 2 days, but really it tested this 45 6 times in 3 days. Sorry, 2 days, 6 times. Failed it every single time, and then the lower high in here at 44. That's the kind of setup for a reversal that seems to me like it should go more than $1, especially after the event is over.
All right, we got slightly, but I don't know. We don't want to get too carried away. I mean, if the market, remember, when you're looking at like standard deviations away, we beat the 50 period up here, and then we basically matched that move down here, and then we took the 50 period there, and then we kind of matched the move again right now. Starting to go short here is probably not an absolutely great idea, but I'm going to go short underneath the 50 period moving average. So that's what we're trying to work with, but this is not something where we're dancing up here and we get good feels about it, and this is where we want to load up knowing that our out is right here. So if you're going to break out of a trade like Apple at at the 50 period, then you need not be, leveling into this trade right now, because you're just going to get wicked around and you're going to get stopped out. So we talked about so we got filled there at 90s and then got out at 81s, just only 10%. So right now you're back up to view up. Our stop was already going to be 10s and 11s. Let's just we'll take a little bit more here, maybe, I guess. We might as well. Let's basically double our position. It's not going to be a huge one. Again, for 10 cents worth of risk, we said where our stop's going to be at 216.11s. So if that breaks higher on us, that's the 200 period moving average right there. Then we'll get out of it. So here comes a little bit of did we get it? No, we did not. We'll get this reload coming up here, and then we'll have our full position. Our average price should be probably about like 97s or so. Once that happens, then it's 13, 14 cents worth of risk, and we can handle that. So we'll wait to see if that one wants to come through. First, we need the fill. Oh, we almost got, there we go, now we got it. So there it is. So now our average price, as we said, is now 96. So we'll give this one about equal amount of pennies there, 14 to the upside, meaning that if we do drop in, let's put a bid now into like the mid 80s, see if we can get something about 1-to-1. And then if we're lucky enough to get something lower than that, then we shall take it on more shares. So let's go with Apple. We just took a 99 reload there. So we're slightly in the money now. Maybe I'll put a bid at 90. Why not? There it is. We get filled at 90 there just for a piece. And we're just sort of trying to stack up a little bit. Fed is tomorrow. I don't need to tell everybody that. But we're going to wait to see what happens. So right now, you're just kind of dancing with people that are going to try to reposition themselves as we head into the power hour. So we have our stop there. If we get stopped out, all good on that one. We've made our money on Apple. This is one last shot. Let's see if it works. We just took a bid at 90 for 10%, and we'll see if we can get a little bit more on the downside for this trade. So try to be as patient as we can. Nasdaq's trying to come back up. Why don't we just get out of some more Uber before it breaks this level of 60, and maybe we'll have to rethink some of our positions here.
Yeah, we'll still look. You still got time. The market's still
got Uber 51.
Nasdaq's negative.
Oh, here comes
still in a downward trend even after making that bottom tail wick. So Affirm got to the 90s. I got 95.
We got
just printed again. 80. So quickly ring the register there. Like the entire afternoon range since we came back on for Affirm is essentially 44 to 43.60. So it's just underneath 1 point. So I think that's what I want to take. Just give me the point, and we'll take it every single time. So we're starting to head back into the downside. Could have probably reloaded Intel, but Intel is not really moving as much. Would rather get into something which is going to give you a better opportunity for some movement. I heard CrowdStrike for some news, but it's not going anywhere.
No.
Thought there might have been something. It was just nothing. It was kind of a nothing burger. But if you're listening in, always want to make sure that we keep our ear to the green. Yeah, they signed some kind of a deal. But the first thing that matters when you hear it doesn't like the news matters for the long term and all that good stuff. And if you're going to make the trade, you want to make sure it's not like a complete nothing burger. But if a stock doesn't do any extra volume when a release happens, that's usually a sign that you shouldn't care. So there wasn't any move whatsoever in CrowdStrike, although it's heading down with the rest of the market there. So Affirm just came right into the low of the range here. And it might bounce off this 43.60 one more time. It's not like there's a lot of size down there. The market's not moving. We're going to stick to our guns here. Let's go to Adara at the desk. I don't know if you have the CrowdStrike news.
Yeah, this CrowdStrike story, not too much. You're basically partnering here with this company called DAZ with regards to using some of CrowdStrike's Falcon platform to automate some of these cloud-based code fixes. The reason I bring this up, though, is because CRWD actually has an investor briefing tomorrow at 1 p.m. So CrowdStrike definitely going to be on watch as we head into tomorrow's session here, guys.
All right, so that was quick. Affirm, still in Intel. Affirm goes right into 44, 43.95, right into the low end of the range. It took about a couple of minutes to give that one. So in, out, bingo, bango, bongo. Palantir, okay, now I'm canceling it again on Palantir because Palantir it was holding. It's no longer holding on to support. If the market keeps falling, Palantir does not want to get to the upside and break this one out. So Palantir holding red. It would have been a nice red to green story if Palantir breaks out of a view up. That's one of the reasons I kind of liked it. But now all of a sudden you've lost that support. The pattern of higher lows is now broken in PLTR. The thing that's actually going up and holding this move of the charts I'm watching is NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA double bottom, which is not just any low. It's off of yesterday's low as well, and now it's trying to break back above some big resistance. And the big thing about it is NVIDIA has been a bit of a sleeper the last couple of days. And going into the Fed, I feel like this one absolutely has to be a mover. And you know what? Speaking of these moves, including the shorts that just happened, brought to you by Moomoo, which is shaking up the investing game with its cash sweep program, offering an incredible 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, far surpassing typical stock returns. Your cash interest earns 24/7 interest, and you can access it anytime to reinvest when the market turns. Plus, sign up now to snag 15 free stocks and bonuses up to $2,300 in Canada. Don't let your money sit idle. Make it work for you. Shout out to everybody at Moomoo. Scan that QR code. Check the description in the chat. You can always click the link there as well. Great look for them. I mean, everyone wants to put their money to work, certainly. And the short's putting money to work. So as much as I just said NVIDIA might break out, it can't do so when the market's headed downside.
Yeah, props up to everybody right there. A 3-to-1 winner on board for you. We just took Apple short at 216, right? I mean, we just got filled at 215.77 right there. So 10 cents worth of risk for us. And the print is on right now for Apple. We're getting less and less on this trade. We have about 35% left of Apple as it just drips right back in. Let's now hold. My next bid is 66. So if we can get into that sort of bottom wick right there, that is 66. We'll see if we can get filled in after that into the 50s again. And then if we're lucky enough to get this kind of a dramatic move into the 30s, then wowzers, we will wait very patiently for that all day, of course, and see if we're able to grab that print back down. Just as we left you, we said, oh, let's take another Uber. So we did get that one out as well. And the market's not really doing a whole heck of a lot. I'm thinking about, honestly, just punching this out if we break this level and then just not even worrying about it, 66.30, and then just dealing with all this. We don't need to be in all of these trades. There's now 40 minutes left until the imbalances, and then essentially until we get to tomorrow where we have the Fed. So, but you know what? Tomorrow's Fed isn't until now. So it's not until 2 o'clock. So we don't have too much worries. I got to put the stop order in again. 66.30. So if we break that, we're out. We have like, I don't know, 5%, maybe even less than that left of our TQ trade. We had waited to get back into this one, and we were pretty patient. I feel like what's really been working for me, man, is like focusing on like just very specific names, you know, and making sure that I put on the best trades and the names that I want to put on. And it's like, it's really led me to trade more shares and find out these levels and get a little bit more aggressive when it's necessary. And then being able to hold on for a little bit of a bigger winner. Like, look at Apple, man, come screaming right back here. Like, wow, you want to talk about getting some out. Okay, here it comes right back upside now. All right. We'll punch a little bit here at 02s or whatever we just got there. Let's put a bid now. This is looking more and more sketch, like what was up with that, I always say, when you get a big move, kind of out of nowhere. So let's bid again, low 90s on this one. See if we can just get 1-to-1 on a little bit left. We only reloaded half of the total position now. Again, coming into the close, let's not try to get like too too funny
Cute.
about the trades, right? I mean,
yeah.
the market could do anything in this last little bit. As
It's a pre-Fed day,
Yeah.
so I think like extensions, like you get your price area, but I think usually expecting the market to fall all over itself, breaking the lows, or break out and continue is usually relatively unlikely there. So I'd like to get up and get a reload in. If we get the same range and bounce off on a firm, I like to go back to that one. But there was just a question. Dude 101 asking about Rivian. It's not the first time someone's asked about Rivian. My guess is any interest in Rivian might have to do with the fact that you've got this clear support at 1280, just underneath $13. It's about the only place where this has been bouncing recently. All the higher lows have been relatively trash, and so you have to get the long underneath the 13 level. I'm still waiting for it to flat bottom break this bottom, 1270. I think that goes, and you do have a big opportunity for some kind of a short flush. Sometimes you make those trades, you risk like 10 cents, it doesn't drop the dollar, but when it does break 1270, or if it does break 1270, that's the trade I'm looking for. I just don't like the weakness on this name. I feel like it wants to retest that low. You can even see here today, it just bounced, went right into yesterday's support, and is curling to the downside. So I think trend intact until it regains yesterday's lows. If you can do something like that, then maybe it's going to make that bounce one more time off this general price area on Rivian. The good news for Rivian is, like a lot of other small cap names, hey, we get a 50-point cut, that's good for them. You're in a rate cutting cycle anyways. This is already priced in for a lot of the small caps, but it's not a bad thing that you're about to get a rate cut. And I think a double barrel would be good in a general sense. Although, remember this, whether you get a quarter or 50 tomorrow, that doesn't necessarily change the total amount of cuts we're getting by the end of the year. Because they could just slide an extra one in before the end of the year, or they could do 25 now, 50 later, or 50 now, 25 later. That doesn't really make a difference to the solar stocks, the order they do it in, or to like Rivian or any of the EV names. It doesn't make a difference. Even like the election might have just as much a deal as the order of the rate cuts. You're probably going to get a 50 at some point. It doesn't matter whether it's first or second when you think about it.
We took out some Apple there. Oh, sorry, we got taken out. We took out some Uber. We got taken out of Apple just right here. So, we weren't able to capture any profit on that last piece as it ripped right back up. So we did average back in. We talked about only taking half of that. So pretty flat on the last little bit there for Apple. But overall, pretty decent moves there. We'll wait. Uber's out. I mean, I think Micron's probably a long breaking higher right now, trying to break this level. We could do that. I'd rather try to find something that's trying to get back up. I mean, the thing is the futures, we talked about this, like it's going to get back into this area, I feel like, and then you just have to make a decision. So I feel pretty comfortable waiting. Basically 19,700 is the level here on the Nasdaq. So that will be something that we'll wait for. Let me just find it on the TQs and then make sure. I'm going to cancel all of my stop orders right now and just wait because I don't have too much else happening right now. If we're going to do anything, there's the level right here for the TQQs. So yeah, same as before, man. 16, basically 66.80. We're going to be wrong up there. So we'll try to start a trade in and around 50s or 60s here, but maybe that's something that winds up coming in at some point. I need that. There needs to be reasons to get into trades, and I don't like maybe Qualcomm, Meta, Nike, Microsoft.
Meta?
We were in Microsoft earlier. We are positive on Microsoft today. We had a much bigger winner than we wound up having because fortunately it did drop out there once it took 438 and we got out. But like these were 437s. That's a 441. So we had $3 or $4 at one point and we reloaded it there and took more than as it fell in. So I was just looking at Microsoft now showing up on some scanners because you're at the 50 period. But again, like you want to go short, it's just hanging out. We got to trade names. Oh, you know what trade I didn't put on yet today, and I was mad about the VWAP miss was going to be Intel. So maybe Intel underneath the 50 period moving average right now could be something.
Needs to break 60. If it can get above 65, like I decline to reload it. I think it gets to VWAP if it breaks 2165. It just can't seem to do it. It's just kind of languishing the downside. And I think NVIDIA is trying to go. If we're looking at names that are trying to go double bottom, local 115.75 top here, I think if it can break that out, you've got a little something going here on NVIDIA. When the market did that last dip, and just to give an idea, it doesn't matter what you're in, but like what I was in, this is what happened over there on a firm. And then if you're looking at the futures, there was this little dip. It didn't quite get to the low, but we did have a push down. During that, NVIDIA did all of nothing to the downside. It just kind of continued to slide higher when the market came in. So I feel like NVIDIA through 115.75 looks like a local break. But it's got to happen. You know, you can sit there looking for it to get past the resistance level and think that it's going to be a strong stock if it gets above it. But if it never does, you know, you don't have a reason to be. I don't have a reason to be in the trade. I don't have a reason to be in Palantir unless it can break 40. I don't have a reason to be in NVIDIA unless it can take out this 3/4 level, unfortunately. So it might get there. We still have plenty of time to go. We just got to be patient for it.
Yeah, we traded too many names today. I just looked back. We're 5 and 5. So we're 5 wins, 5 winning stocks, 5 losing stocks, and just too many trades, I think, too many names. So on that note, let's look at a new one. All right, JP Morgan. You know, I like to trade the bank names for sure, but let's make sure that we're trading them the proper way. Like, look at this right here, right now. This could be nice, man. I mean, this is JP Morgan. The Nasdaq down right now, 0.1. Sorry, Nasdaq flat. It's the ES minus 0.01. Let me check out what XLF is doing. The finance, the bank ETF, probably up because JP's up, right? So, all right, you're at the 50 period here as well. Market trying to get, yeah, maybe we're trying to break a little bit higher here. So I was looking at JP Morgan right at this level and was thinking, why not? And maybe the answer is right there because, you know, you're trying to break higher. You're now above. This is a decent opportunity to go short against 209. So I'm thinking about doing that right now. It's not really a Fed play or anything like that. I mean, I think the Fed plays are kind of, I don't want to say dead or anything like that, but there's only 30 minutes left until the imbalances. So I feel like the market's just going to trade off of that. You're at some key levels here for JP Morgan, but it's just looking good on the 1 minute. Actually, on the 20 minute, it's looking like it wants to hold this bid and potentially go higher. That bid's 207. Well, we're not even close to this. That's 207.80, so we're $1 higher. So you're just right at a level right now, right? 208.80, or you could short this name and take it back in. So this could be a play here for JP Morgan. I don't know if I'm not going to take it, but you know, it could be something there showing up on scanners. You can hit trade ideas. We have many different opportunities there. Trader TV 20 to grab the discount from trade ideas and get some of these scanners. And we're going to be working with a few other programs coming through as well that has scanner capabilities. I think Benzinga, does as well on their platform. Although I don't use them.
If you had Benzinga Pro, I mean, they've got lots of screeners, scanners, you need the economic calendar. They have a great earnings board that you're able to look at, which is fantastic. So you can sort of, like, you know, we'll go through it. Like, we usually know the big names are reporting, but when there's sometimes in the middle of earnings season, there might be 40 or 50 names that are reporting, and you want to make sure you can look at the ones that are the most important or just weed it all down. And so Benzinga is fantastic for that. No breakout NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks like it's about to roll over a little bit here, so a bit of a disappointment. There was a halt. I was looking for things that are moving around a little bit. That halt stock, GLMD, that even this stock is starting to die down. Like volatility, it's hard to say a stock up $440 is not moving anymore, but compared to before, this is really starting to slow itself down. The spread's still a bit of an issue. My concern would be if it doesn't hold this 20, there's a pretty sizable gap down to that 16 original halt support. Usually when you hold the higher low, it'll get going again on JLMD. And just for anyone out there, if you're tuning in late, JLMD, I'm just going to double check. This one I'm pretty sure it's not a big short float. It's only like 6%, but the float, not that this makes any sense, but this happens these days, is 500,000, and it's done almost 100 million today. So it's just churning through. It's a lack of availability of shares, not necessarily the amount of it that is short that caused a lot of this move. So yeah, I think that was the concern. Like if it doesn't hold to 20, like one candle just went to 19 as we were watching in a flash. So I'd be really careful with this. And then it's right back up into this 20 level. But it was just at 21. You saw it flash through. 20 didn't even try to hold the first time through. So the bid's starting to evaporate a little bit on this GLMD, what was a strong runner. I think you got to be really careful with these. Like it's never crazy if you come in tomorrow and the stock is at $10, or if the stock was at $5. Like it would not surprise me one bit, but it could also be at 40. I don't like chasing the top of these kinds of moves. And as I say that, it's about to go into a down halt. I didn't pay for locates on this. I'm sure it would have been a little bit more expensive than your average, but we probably would get them. It's about to go into a down halt on JLMD. So it's going down 18.29 is on the offer. I couldn't join that offer if I wanted to because I haven't paid for any shorts on this. So JLMD now only up 370% after this latest halt to said downside. And unfortunately, that one just was looking at it, looked like it was getting a little bit heavy, and that kind of concerned me. So still waiting on a breakout here in NVIDIA. We still have about 40 minutes to go to the close. We have some time.
Look, I want to talk about this on the Market Recap Show with Brian Shannon, but check this out here. I think this is important to understand as we head into what is tomorrow, right? So this is just goes all the way back 10 years. So January of 15, right? These are the implied volatility here, and that goes by uncertainty of what the expectations are. So we talked about it like 60-40 right now and changing. So this is 3 trading days before the FOMC, and you're right now, the last time we had something like this was July of 23. Then we go back here to July, I guess, of 19, we were up this high. And then right there of February 17. So market implied probability of a full 25 basis point cut 3 trading days before. So the cuts are back. So let's wait to see what winds up happening. We haven't been in a move like this in a while. So we're going to wait to see what winds up happening. Very, very interesting here for tomorrow as finally we get some movement. I mean, the last 5, 6, 7, 10 of these Fed interest rate decisions were very, very muted because it was as expected.
Yep.
And this time we'll go a little different way on that. And we'll see what winds up happening tomorrow. So just an interesting thing there. I just tweeted it out. So if you want to go find that, go over to @TraderTV Sean. You'll be able to find that as well. We are also heading into seasonally the worst period, the last 2 weeks of September. So that could be something more.
Although Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, of course, being
witching, right?
It's witching, so you get the quarterly rebalancing, you get the S&P making major additions, you get options expirations as well. So Friday should be a pretty big day. Friday's not just about Palantir and Dell, although if you're trading in the last 10 minutes, it very well might be for a lot of traders. I feel like I'm going to be a Palantir's big or bust in the last 10 minutes, maybe a little bit of Dell in there, and if none of those things happen, I don't trade the close on Friday. And then there's Etsy coming out, going into the mid, and American Airlines. One of those two is going to the 600, the other one's going into the 400. But if you're interested, when you talk about trades like this, and when we talk about the imbalances and look at those trades into the close or the structured trades off the open or anything that you see us do here, just keep in mind, like every single trader that you see live on this show has gone through something very similar to what we have with our campus program, which is back. So if you're in Canada and you're interested in trading and doing it the right way for free, go to realtrading.com/campus, trade real money, gain real experience. As I said, everyone goes through these basics. When we talk about learning about the markets and the market introduction, you're going to understand what is the imbalance? Like, how does it work? Like, what is the limit order? What is the stop orders? How do they work? Bracket orders, all of that importance, like the structure of the market, it is your playground when you're trading and you want to know. It's like Neo in the Matrix. You've got to understand the environment that you're in. And that also goes through the platform, which is phase 2, because you learn all about P-Pro8, the trading platform that we trade on and have traded on for years. It is built by traders for traders, constantly taking suggestions to make it better and better. You'll do that for a couple of weeks. Then you get into the simulator, TMS, one-on-one coaching. The boys in the back here are involved in that on a daily basis. You get meetings, one-on-one, 4 weeks, certificate at the end. Then you go live in phase 4. Ability to earn real money. Still going to be trading get that one-on-one training 16 hours a week. You can have a side gig while you do it. Now, it says the campus program, you don't actually have to be a student, but hey, if you're a student and you want to do it part-time, great. That's going to work as well. So it's all about the dedication and putting the time and effort in. It is free, but it is a structured program. Sign up now if you want to get your trading journey started and are located in Canada. It is realtrading.com/campus. Scan the QR code right there that was on the screen, or you can check the description of this video. So it's all about getting better. And when you are trying your trading journey, trading's hard enough, but it's a lot easier if you have a good structured program and a good platform to trade on as well. You can trade just about every single market out there eventually here at Real Trading as well. So I guess we're not going to get that reload on our good friend Affirm as that continues to head a little bit lower. I'll call that a little bit of a disappointment for Affirm here. I thought we'd get a shot to come back into 44 and go range bound. It's putting in a lower high at 43.65, essentially where we got out. Intel seems to want the low. The low here, the local bottom is 21.33. Low of the day, 21.25. I'm going to get out in front of that low. Just put it out in front of the quarter. If that's what we get, fine. We got about 30 minutes to go in here. And I kind of feel like you probably don't break the low of the day going into the Fed. But that's a bit of a gut feel. And once again, Palantir just not moving. Let's stick a fork in Palantir. I thought Palantir, after the volatility this morning on the pullback, had a move in it this afternoon. Seems like it's just doing some resting going into tomorrow, Shannon.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll be lucky enough to have gotten away from Palantir. That was not a great trade for me earlier on. But you know what we just took on? We'll have a new position right here, and we'll see. We don't want to go too... That was loud. We don't want to go too hard on this. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening. But JP Morgan, we already took 15 cents right there. Shorted 60s, we got filled at 45 at the 50-period moving average. I'm just, now that we're underneath VWAP, I'm actually just going to play this into 80s. So if we break 80, then we're going to get out. I just thought, hey, if this move wanted to continue to the downside, we've now broken and it just structured different right now. So we don't have to put on a lot of risk. We'll be short here at 63s. I thought maybe I was going to get a little bit more short up here, but we'd get a very, very tight stop. So, you know, this will be 17, 18 cents if it breaks above right there, and then we'll get out. So that'll be just a quick trade. It looks like it wants to go back up. So, you know, it looks like we may get stopped out here. I'll probably try, actually, now that we're going like this, maybe we'll see if we can get a little bit more here at 80. And then my stop was 86's break. So a little bit higher than where we are right now. Was not expecting a complete turnaround. I was actually thinking, okay, maybe we got it. We went short. It basically bounced off the 50-period moving average. We've seen that happen many, many times. And then the move right back up. So not really surprising me right now. Don't like to be in a losing position here near the end of the day. We're going to get out if this breaks 85 and then just say we tried it and it just didn't work. I don't want to give this all the way up to 209, which normally I would. It's just if it's going to drift the rest of the day, then we are not interested. So maybe a pullback, maybe not. Futures are underneath. It looks like it wants to be more aggressive. The spread rate here is 5 cents. This could be a 20-cent hitter. So we should be getting out soon. Needs a print higher, I guess. There it is. So it looks like we do wind up punching out some 88s, 89s is what we wind up getting. So not a great one there to wrap it up on well, not wrap it up, but we took a 20-cent hit there on JP Morgan. Just trying that. I thought we could have that breaking back down below. 209 coming in right now. Why don't we just stay away? Like, I think it's best until something really sets up. The market's still doing this move. Like, why bother to get stopped out of Apple there and then it comes back down, or get stopped out of JP Morgan, then it comes back down? See, good thing we got stopped out when we did. Now you're up to 209. That would be my next stop out area. So Uber's the only one really, wow, Uber's really working. Uber's still 50 cents in the money going to the downside, but Costco's below 900, maybe.
Walmart's down.
Look at that. I want to know what this is all about. We're going to have Brian Shannon on. What if the Fed cut by 37.5%? What? The Federal Reserve is not strictly bound to making interest rate changes in increments of 25 basis points. While 25 basis point changes are common, the Fed has flexibility in adjusting rates based on economic condition. Here's an overview, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ask him about that. It looks like you got it from Perplexity. I'm going to ask him what that's all about.
I feel like
Shannon on tonight.
I kind of feel like this Fed is completely allergic to surprises. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think, wow.
So I think going away from the standard of cuts would be. I actually didn't realize that I guess they could do whatever they want to do. It makes some sense to have some flexibility. I just can't see them.
OMEX down 90%.
Oh no! Wait a minute, I know that stock.
OMEX.
Oh no, not this thing.
It's now halted. Odyssey Marine.
Yeah.
Tech.
Yuck.
$5. So
that's yuck.
Down to 72 cents.
So Odyssey Marine is plunging?
Yes. Then halted on a circuit breaker, Exploration Shares. So they didn't find anything, needless to say, and it is to the downside. I don't know enough about it, but there it goes.
No, it's just a small capper. 15 million float.
OMEX.
10% of it's short. Well, the 10% of it that's short is clearly
Microsoft
winning.
is at a decent level.
Wow,
here.
that's bad.
What time is it? 3:30.
It's 3:30 in here. So you're going to have some early look imbalances. We have some of them already coming in here.
434.
Early look imbalances, actually Pfizer to the buy side, KO, NU is a 1 million to the sell there.
Neil has the imbalance.
And we have the imbalances up. So just an early look on some imbalances. Pfizer, a 2 million buy, that might be worth a look. Ignore TUP, that's not opening. It's not going to happen. PIN, 600,000 to the sell side. But this OMEX, it'd be interesting to see. It's giving a tap of 50 cents after it was just at $5 Adara.
I have a bit of a note here in OMEX, though it happened a while ago. We got this note coming out at 2:04 p.m. from what I can see on Benzinga. The company reported this win in its NAFTA arbitration case. So a new free trade agreement case here in relation to Mexico being resolved, I guess, in the favor of Odyssey Marine. But that story on watch here, again, coming out about an hour and a half ago. If I see anything else with regards to this ticker, I will let you guys know.
Be that is not the story, but we'll wait on that one because if a win is minus 90%, I wonder if
what happens if they lost is what I
yeah. So we'll get more on that thanks to Dara, but that is the story. So we'll wait on that one. All righty.
The tap is 30 cents on this. I don't think I've ever live seen a stock. Actually, it's not true. I once traded a stock that bounced off the 1 cent level, like years and years ago. We just sort of did it. Dash and I did it. We're like, oh my goodness, the stock was for penny stock and it went down. Like, what happens if it ticks below a cent? We weren't sure if there was still going to be the half penny to be able to trade at, and then it was right there on the bid. And we're like, well, it was early in the morning. Why not just take the half penny? Is it really going to go to zero? The answer was at the end of the day, we essentially were able to trade out flat. It couldn't even bounce. So stocks can get all the way down and have nowhere to go. I'd be concerned about this, whether or not, like, the volatility is going to be insane. I wouldn't want to get trapped in this overnight or anything. You got to be wary of something like this if it ends up halting late in the day and then you get stuck in it overnight. Like, that's to me the downside or the risk of trying to trade an OMEX, which I'm sure we'd probably have to pay for locates as well. But it should open up. It's just a volatility halt, so give it 2 minutes and it's going to open up. Barry said DJT is going down. Yeah, what just happened in DJT's volume just really picked up here.
I mean, is it at $10?
Broke the low. No, not yet.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's 13 that it has to hold for the next few days.
13?
No, 13 is that key price for the, all it means for it holding $13 for a few more days is that the lockup can expire on the 20th instead of the 25th. But Trump said he's not selling. We'll see if that ends up being true or not. The proof will be in the pudding. If he does sell, it's going to get to the $10. The local bottom here is like 15, and it just broke the low of the day on good volume. So this is heading downside. I'm still only in Intel. I don't know if we're going to get one more crack at a firm, but I'm in morbid curiosity. That OMEX, I don't like trading blind because I feel like that can't be the story, like winning something for NAFTA and it's down 89%.
The good thing is you can't trade it anyways.
Well, it's probably paid for locates. So.
Plus halted?
Well, it'll open back up, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go to Adair.
Let's go to Adair.
Just a quick note on that OMEX. I was looking back. So that news came out about 8 minutes before the first halt. Still seeing if there's any other stories, but that was the only story I could find as of right now. Lots of stories, though, to keep an eye out here in the S&P 500. We're going to talk about some names making larger moves to the upside or downside as we end off the day, starting with HPE. Hewlett-Packard Enterprises here actually featured on our watch list this morning. Still up about 5%, though, off of the high of days, getting this upgrade to a buy rating from BofA Securities and a price target of $24 for HPE. ACN also in watch here. Accenture, this one more or less at low of days here, down about 4%. Bit of a circulation here of this still unconfirmed rumor that the company is looking to postpone some of its promotions by about 6 months, saying that this is due to weaker than expected outlook. Again, not confirmed, but ACN with a couple positive catalysts earlier today, including some price target increases falling off around 10 a.m. with those rumors getting circulated there. Last but not least, Airbnb actually looking pretty much to the upside today, up more than 3%, despite a price target decrease from Bernstein, price target cut from 174 to 155. The note itself was pretty bullish. Airbnb reacting positively to this price target decrease. Lots of interesting names in the move today, guys.
Well, we have another interesting name. Thanks to Dara for that one. We have another interesting name here. Microsoft, of course, the $60 billion buyback, the 10% increase, although it's not, you don't hold Microsoft for dividends, but that's a nice little 10% increase. We like to see that. I don't necessarily like to see a dividend increase in a tech stock because, spend your money in tech. But if they have enough of it lying around, we'll take it back
Just
as
buy the stock
shareholders.
back.
Yeah, so they obviously,
when they're doing that
obviously do
anyway,
buy
so.
stock buyback as well. So we're back into the long right now. We're long at 30 cents. We just tried to get a 49 there. Did we get it? No, we did not. We missed that price. So hopefully it comes back up. It just bounced off of us up there into the 40s. So there it is. Actually, we're at 45s. My bad. So we take a 45 fill there. Long 25s now. We started a little small dip there. At the first spot, it did go upside. We did talk about that. We were about 20 cents in the money as it goes to 70 off of our 50 long. We were waiting at the 50 period, so we just missed it. Able to reload it now. 50 period now at 67. So we're upside. Here we go with this name. So it's so far so good, baby. We like the stock. It's Microsoft. And there it goes, man. Another positive name for us today. Well, for me today anyways, on this name. We'll see if we can get it back upside right now. I liked it earlier, a lot earlier, and we talked about if this breaks 434, we're out. So that's the one thing here. We're out 30% right now. We're just trying to go like 1-to-1 again. That's the bottom of 434. Just see, it's like so frustrating because there's the move right back into where we had it, trying to hold it out. So got out at 30% there, and we just kind of went 1-to-1, right? Right there. Cisco laying off more employees. That's CSCO in Canada. CSCO here in New Nasdaq. Let's see if that's doing anything like that. But maybe ASIC's.
No move.
No. The market is doing nothing right now.
What was
I like
that?
that. Just like
I
wake
missed
up.
it.
Wake
Missed
up.
it.
It's a little poke. Yeah, exactly. Let's go. Actually, that's like the Cisco at the bottom right there. It's like pointing out. Do that again. It's going to point to the 45 bottom. There it is. Yeah. Buy the dip. All right. So thank you for that one right there. I'm going to, take, what do you call those things? I'm going to take that thing's advice right now and just take some profit. There's another 15 cents
That
on
has a
Microsoft.
name?
I don't know. Let's get out right now of a little bit here on Softy. Having a problem breaking through 50s right now. Go, buddy. We used to have somebody around here named Mel Lastman, and he used to say, nobody beats whatever that
His son's
furniture store he had there.
Son's still around.
Yeah. Nobody beats Bad Boy, it was.
Bad Boy.
We did have The Wiz in Seinfeld as well.
May or Mel.
Okay, so here we go. Nobody beats The Wiz. All right, so nice upside move. We just took some out. So we were just sitting right there at the 50-period moving average. Good job to get up there, Microsoft. But don't stop. Keep going to the upside right there. Let's see if we can get a little giggity here at, there's another out. Okay, let's see if we keep going upside right now. 435.20. We'll put an offer. Let's put an offer at 435. If we're lucky enough to get a bounce up to that area, then we'll take it out as, Ramin, do that again. I mean, that thing definitely woke this market up a little bit here. As there it goes. Ramin was like, is the market doing anything? And since then, look at Microsoft. It's waking up, man. Nice move right there. Trying to go. Nice move for Microsoft up to 74, 75. Little bit higher, and we'll get some more out for Softy. But hey, that was a good trade. Now 30 cents in the money, making back some of that Apple money. No. Ramin just asked if we want that button. I mean, I could get it.
I'll take it. Actually, I was kind of curious if I could have some of those sweet potato cookies or whatever you had up there in the morning. Yeah, those would be nice too. But I like that button. I'll take it. But I don't know what's going on with DJT, but this is still sliding downside as the market goes to bounce. I mean, you heard Sean with Microsoft in there. DJT doesn't care. So it's still heading down. It looks like it could break 16 even. Now that it's at 16.15, OMEX just opened. So it's going into an up halt at 53 cents. And I know that seems crazy. If they're not... They should have adjusted the bands. Why is it halting? See, the problem is it's supposed to have different halt bands. Thank you, Ramin. It's supposed to have different halt bands when you're a penny stock. Maybe because it just went to a penny stock, it's still halting at 10%, which is nonsensical. Because on a 50-cent stock, it's just going to keep halting over and over again. That's going to be nonsensical. If this stock is going to halt every time it goes just even like a small move, that's going to be useless. So OMEX is down 88%, but it just went into an up halt at 53 cents, believe it or not. But it's DJT that I think is making a bit of a power move. I want to see if it can pull back in here to prior support levels, 16.25, as it tries to come back up. Caught a bit of a sell here going into the close on good volume for DJT. So I want to look to short that pop. I have a trail on Intel in here now that it's 340.
Bang.
This bottom consolidation, we're just going to get out. Doesn't seem like it wants to break that low of the day. So we're jumping out if it breaks 21. 45. So DJT trying to pop back up here into the 20s. Can't even break 20 even, it looks like. I'm going to sit on 19 and see if we can get the fill.
Good chips. Here goes Softy. We get our 80s. So.
Oh, man.
Where's that wake up guy again? I mean, yeah, it worked out perfectly right there because, yeah, it just sort of rattled the cage a little bit of Softy. And there it is right there, 80 cents upside for Microsoft and still climbing. We're now 60 cents in the money and getting higher on that one. So that'll be nice. That's all that we have right now. Microsoft is 340. We will wait for those. All right, now you're having too much fun. I like it. Just keep waking it up. Right there, Pfizer, LUV, KO, which of course is Coca-Cola. Oh yeah, Ramin waking up Microsoft. Wake up, my guy. Oh, it's Fabian getting excited right here. All right, there we go, man. Nice little move up there. We got this. That's the top. That's the bottom. We have it. Good trade there for Softy. Good thing we averaged into that one. Made it a little bit better there. You know, few shares. We're happy with it. All right, so a lot of buys, a lot of sells. Basically just mixed right now. We'll wait to see what happens with Pfizer near that $30. We actually looked at this as a $30 break and never happened, right? There's the 50 period. Oh, it did happen, actually. Went to 30.30.
It kind of did.
There. So we'll have to wait to see if it can hold that high. 31.50 back early August remains roughly the high there for Pfizer as it's now above the, oh, this was the break that we would like, actually. 29 and change. What is happening right now? Man, you wake us up again, man. What the hell just happened? I think this fell to the downside right here. All right, now we're starting to fall back in. So we only have 35% left of this trade. But Microsoft coming back in, like this is what I mean about trading right now during this period. You know, you get stopped out there if you're long, you get stopped out here if you're short, and then at the end of the day, you open your eyes back and it's at the same level again. So just, you know, we're trying to best, trying to entertain, show you guys a couple fun little emojis, whatever those things are called, graphics, as we get going. But at the end of the day, there isn't a whole heck of a lot happening. We're 50 cents in the money on Uber, which is going to be my P&L number 2 stock on the day. P&L number 1 will be the TQQs. Actually, we're trying to add to this Microsoft position as well. We're up on Amazon today. Amazon was a really good trade, buying these dips until eventually we lost on that last piece there. Micron, actually, again, we're 5 and 5 today. Oh, actually, we traded JP Morgan loss. So I think we're 5 wins, 6 losses today. But there's Micron again. That was one of the better ones for me. Getting out at VWAP right there. We're really proud of that there and there for Micron. So all is well. Just hoping for a little bit of a bigger move as we get ready for those imbalances coming out. And make sure you join me after hours, where it'll be exciting because of what we have on board. But no earnings or anything today. We'll talk some Fed with...
you got Brian.
With Brian, yeah.
Yeah. You don't need much.
Some stuff to talk about.
When you have Mr. Shannon. So talking about the Fed, look, there's a lot to go over when we're actually going to get a contested rate decision. I had been double checked. It was literally hanging around 65% for that 50 basis point cut tomorrow. And it didn't change. All morning long, it just would not move off that. Usually the day before, you're expecting to see movement. So I almost said Palantir. DJT just continues to roll over. Something seems to have happened, but yeah, I don't really see anything. Dare is saying there was some chatter online about the recent assassination attempt, but overall, it was already trending to the downside when you zoom it out, and then all it did is flat bottom break, but it's the volume that's interesting. So the first available bid after you guys brought it to the attention was dipping off of 1610 into 1620, was able to get underneath that 20 level to 19. Now just looking for it to get to 16 even if it can get into that downside. That OMEX was rightfully pointed out. I always thought that the ability for them to adjust the halt bands intraday was a thing that we've been able to figure out here on the Nasdaq, but I suppose not. They still base it on the previous day's closing price, which
right.
I don't know. Like they have a thing in Toronto where the minimum share size on certain dark gateways is reliant upon the minimum board lot of the stock. They're able to change that real time in Toronto, so you'd think they'd be able to move the halt bands because a 10% halt band on a 50-cent stock is completely nonsensical. It's just, what are you going to do when it halts every 5 cents?
Exactly.
It's stupid.
There's a couple of stocks last week that was like open halt.
It's like there's no benefit to that. Like it's nonsensical for price discovery. So they should probably figure that one out. But you know, it's probably harder than it looks. I shouldn't harp on it too much, but they've had a long time to fix that.
My bet is it's easier than it looks, but here we go, back up to the upside.
I'm gonna give them credit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this market's going, upside or downside, but we'll see about Microsoft. They just came back into a reloaded area right now, so we'll just put on some more shares back into this spot. Basically the same amount of shares that we had the first time. You know, if it wants to pop again, great. We'll take a little bit profits out a little bit quicker this time as we are heading into with only 5 minutes left these imbalances. And if they come bids, great. They could come completely the other way. We'll take a 34 right there. Someone asked about what gateways I prefer. I mean, ARCA for us here at Real Trading will pay the most. Bang. Will pay the most. We'll get out at 42 right there. I'm at 47s. Bang. All right. Nice move. We're out of half already. Honestly, man, if I can get 30 cents like that in seconds on Microsoft trading these shares, fine by me, because it looks like it may drip down the other way. So I'm completely fine with that. We're out of half now. Yeah, so I like ARCA, which is ARB. You'll see that on here sometimes. Or I actually like EdgeX, which is EXB. You'll see sometimes. Maybe if I go to a little bit of a slower. Oh no, Siri's not that slow anymore, is it?
I like EdgeX a lot.
Yeah, but there's, okay, here we go. Nasdaq, BATS, ARCA, EdgeX. There's a whole bunch of different ones. IEX, MEMX. I mean, the New York book as well. You can sit with BATS. I mean, there's a whole bunch. The question was, which one did I favor? And honestly, man, I mean, I don't really, just because of rebates, like when you're trading a stock like a Microsoft or, you know, liquid names like I always do, basically, it doesn't really matter what gateway you fill on, because like, see, when it just wants to rip up, it just takes out levels. So the only thing I would say is that if you're going to use bigger share size, then you might want to either hide your order, use an iceberg order or something like that, so that they don't see it. But we've sat here on, like, look at this, see? We've sat here on, and now it's 30 cents back in the money. I'm going to take this again and then cancel my 60. If we can get a 50, great. You might want to, you know, do an iceberg, but like I said, honest, there it goes. Nice trade. I say it to myself. But as you go, we've seen millions and millions of shares get eaten up by algos. So I'm going to walk that comment back and say it doesn't really matter what gateway you're on. You just want to make sure you get filled. And I think that's to another point in part about knowing the structure of the company that you work for and how fees are associated, right? Yeah. So.
Another good thing is, if you're in real trading, there are, you know, they do have like monthly reports sometimes which get circulated, so you can know, hey, which gateway the last month on the Nasdaq was printing the most. And like the differences are they're not gigantic in terms of percentage, but sometimes there is a shift. Like somebody changes fees and then ARCA doesn't fill as well, or EdgeX fills better. I just think you get a feel for it. But as Sean mentioned, the more important thing is, if a stock is going to blast through levels anyways, you might as well get paid the rebate. Right? Like if it's going to go through. Like if a stock is trading down or up, or it doesn't matter, as long as you're not sitting there with 10x the amount of regular size that's on the book, you might as well get a rebate if you're a real trading or any firm like it. So DJT is starting to run out of steam at 16:10. The imbalances are now in 2 minutes, so not a heck of a lot of time to go in here. Tahiti boy just asked me, if we don't break 16:10, I'm just going to tighten this up to break even on DJT in the next couple of seconds. Is Intel going up or down? Right now, it's holding the low of the day. So the answer is neither. It's been trending down. The only good longs were like the 22 level was pretty much all I was playing, was 22 and VWAP long, and then the short's been at 21.60 for me. I don't think we're getting any of that. I'm on the bid in front of 21.30 just to try to take this lower high and get out, because we only have 2 minutes until the imbalances. It wasn't much of anything, because you got Pfizer, still only a couple of million shares, NU, LUV, and KO were the only ones early look over 1 million. I suspect the bigger numbers, you know, it's Friday. When we pull this up, trust me, when we pull this one up on Friday, the number of names that are going to be over 1 million shares is going to be a little bit overwhelming. So we'll be there. Some ones you want to look out for. Like I'm probably going to have an imbalance locator with 2 names in it, just so I can see specifically what Dell and Palantir are on Friday, and I almost don't care about the rest.
You guys remember the damage you did on NU the last time it came up there, man? We punched in at 70s, it went all the way to the O's. It was a 30-cent trade, and then some of the numbers that some of you viewers had sent over to me were absolutely mind-boggling. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to show you guys a little bit more information there come then. All right, honestly, you know, we'll pat ourselves on the back right there, because we'll go bullish on Softy. And Neil, there it is again. It's another 60 cents back up to the upside as we just sit in this position and really make some money this afternoon. I mean, it's been a great afternoon. We did slip up there. We took a 20-cent hit on JP Morgan. We talked about that one, but again, we'll make back that by far here with Softy and hopefully be able to take these levels out. We only have 25% left of our position now. So if it comes back in, we'll lose you know where our stop is? 18 cents. So we'll lose 18 cents if it breaks lower, and we're in the money 70 cents. So that's, 60 cents. So well worth it right there. A 3 to 4 to 1 risk on that. And I was talking about this with Obi actually, and he's just like, dude, we can do this all day. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I do. So welcome to the danger zone. All right, here we go. The imbalances are coming out right now. Again, our stops will trigger if and when they do come out. And there it goes. It's a move to the upside. We just went to 435.20 there and now pulling back. Nvidia's a buy. Apple's a buy. Google's a buy. They're all buys. I don't see any sells, man. Broadcom's a buy. The number's going to be a big one. Although Microsoft, of course, the only name that doesn't appear to be on here, is the only one I'm long in. So Microsoft with a nice move up there into 435.12s. That would have been close. That would have been $1. But unfortunately, it's doing the other thing around. It's going the other way right now. So Nvidia holds it and now pulls back as well. The number is not there yet, but that's okay. Nvidia coming back a little bit. We may take this opportunity to get out of some Microsoft, and why not? Let's just get out right now. Let's get out at 85. All right, good offer there. Now we'll wait for a high side move and see if we get this print. I'm up here, 435.60. Let's go Microsoft. Let's just wrap a bow on what has been great trading here today for us and see if we can get going. Uber, we might as well just get out. Go Softy right now for us. Almost that dollar club right now for Microsoft as we're going higher and higher. Where's Uber?
What was that? Dude, sorry, I just was listening in on Benzinga one more time. On the imbalances coming out there, quick tight stop trail on both the shorts. We're able to get the low on Intel. That worked out because it was just hanging out at the low. But DJT made a bit of a bounce here. Well, that's the warrant. Why would the warrant come in first? DJT, I said I put a break-even stop, so it broke 19s and I got a 20. That one's still heading into the downside. I feel like tomorrow, like if you call a stock a short till it's not, if you just come in with the approach, since the I'm not selling comment, all it's done is drop 2 days in a row, and it's got another $1 if it loses 16 into the $15 area. I think this is just another one that's going to be a big-time sell opportunity on DJT. It's not about politics or anything like that. It's just about price action, right? So just keep it to price action, and you should be good to go. Tahiti Boy keeps asking me in the chat, should you sell your Intel stock now or hold them? You're obviously talking about the long term. I don't think this is what needed to happen today, and this is what I said in the aftermarket show. If you're making a bottom, it's good that it holds the bottom, but you want it to hold the next leg up. And that's the thing that's not happening. Like, it's not holding on to gains when it breaks a level higher. So the price action is telling you that there aren't buyers when it goes up a step. And that's important when a stock is making a bottom. I want to see a rounded bottom where you hold the highs and then you're able to start breaking away. Now, there's sometimes you get that and you might miss the move by a little bit and it does that rounded bottom, but it did the rounded bottom without holding the highs. And that's negative for me. So until it can either retest the low for a long, I'm not a buyer of it, or it holds out above that 22 and can try to go gap filling. I like what they're doing. I think it's right that you want to save costs. I think it's right that you want to explore all opportunities to make cash on the side, whether it's spinning off businesses, focusing a little bit more by creating a separate entity for their foundry business, which right now is losing a lot of money. As I've said, the reason I own the stock and was taking profit before and what I'm holding is because of the foundry business. So they spin it off. I don't want to own the legacy business because it's the foundry long-term play that I've been interested in, and you're going to see some changes with that. So I want to see how that spin out goes. But that's just personally me why I like the stock. It was because of the foundry keeping that chip making in-house, and they might turn that into a separate business. If they do, then this stock might not matter for that. But they haven't said specifically whether or not they're going to turn it into its own offering. Just that it's going to have its own board, its own share structure control, all that kind of good stuff. So I do think there is a chance. Ari Pages, did somebody say there's a rounded bottom? Hey, we all like rounded bottoms. But there's nothing about making a rounded bottom that's good if you don't take out the top. The whole point of that setup is to take out previous resistance and then start trending back to the upside. Just ain't happened here on Intel. So I think that's a big disappointment for sure. Why would anyone? Okay, yeah. That was just a DJT comment there. And like, I'm not sitting here saying I know Trump is going to sell or he's not going to sell. I'm just simply saying ever since he said that he was not going to sell, the stock has come down in the 2 days since. That's all I'm concerned with. Let's go to Adara.
Watch out for progeny here. PGNY, this one getting a nice volume spike as we head into the close. This company, which does fertility benefits management, pushing higher here on reports that there has, been blockage here with regards to this universal IVF access bill. So PGNY on watch with that in mind. Again, bit of a volume spike as we head into the closing bell, guys.
All right. Thank you, Adara. As 355 hits, we can double check out on the imbalances one more time here as we go. Yeah, I mean, they all basically paired off. Now you get a lot of sells happening right now. I was waiting to see if Microsoft would join the party and maybe go back up to the upside. We only have 15% left on this trade. So if it falls back in, it falls back in, and it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, good trading here today. And yeah, not much else to say, really. Join me and Brian Shannon coming up very, very soon. I just want to check this out, man. This is what the profits were like. Everybody wants to know how much money traders are making. And yesterday here at Real Trading, I believe, let me just, Ramin asked me for this page earlier, so yeah, I double checked it. So right here, top 10 traders yesterday. Number one trader was 7,700 on the Nasdaq. There's, what's up, Adam DeLuz and company there. There's your friend in Vienna again. So this guy or girl is just crushing this market here, $6,200. Someone made $5,600 in Canada. A little Amex and Nasdaq trader made $5,000. Another trader in Canada, boom, boom, boom. As you can see, and look at this, Amex, the CME, that's a futures trader right there, New York and Nasdaq, 4,500. Good day for that individual as well. Canada, again, New York, Nasdaq, Canada. And then there's Vienna one more time. So that is what's been making money in and around Real Trading. So it's called Compare Your Profits. You guys can check those pages out at your leisure if you are here, or simply ask me. And you can always ask Neil or I again how our days are going. You can do that in the chat and we will respond. All right, I'm going to take advantage of this move up. I was waiting for a dollar club, but honestly, that doesn't matter. I was waiting for a 434, 435 break, but the name of the game, Neil, when you're trading is to make money. Make better decisions than the person you're trading against, right? And you're trading against the market. So like I was saying there, and Adara talked about this earlier. She went very early, was shut down, went into sim and did it all over again, right? And so I feel like that's what you want to practice. If you look down and you've made horrible decisions today, like some traders have, then that will be one of those things where you rebook, you relook, and you come back tomorrow. I mean, that's what trading's all about. Make the best decisions with the information that's in front of you. And I think we do a really good job of doing that. We've showed you some great trades here. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and all of that. Share this. Go find us all over socials. And you guys, hopefully you'll be able to just continue to see what we're doing here. I mean, these were buys. We talked about our Apple's trades, our Uber trade there, the trade on the TQQs, which was just stink face for sure. Affirm did not work out today. Where's JP Morgan right now? Wow. Good thing we got out of that one. This is how you stay away from some of those things. It's 3:58 right now.
Just very quickly, I got to get to the super chat because JKL, thank you for the super chat. Did not say anything about NVIDIA news. Did you say you heard NVIDIA news? No. This afternoon, there was not any news on NVIDIA that I was aware of. We heard the OMEX went to the downside. That absolutely tanked. I mean, there were some things out there that were moving, but certainly not on NVIDIA. And so just want to make sure you guys understand. Nothing happened to NVIDIA. And then someone said, I'm sure Toronto was you guys. When Sean's showing that, that's the market traded on, not the location of the trader. That's the markets that they traded on. So if you see Canada, like it's actually they were trading on the TSX markets or the Venture or one of the Canadian markets. And I did see a firm there. I did not elect to reload when the market was going to the upside so aggressively. So I decided to stay away from a firm on the reload. And again, the reason I like it, I might prefer the short tomorrow, is just it's a double top on the daily. Obviously, when you have the same high at $45 2 days in a row, 3 times it tested it both days. So triple top yesterday, triple top today, failure. That leads me to thinking it's a bit of a reversal. They had an event as well, and the event ended without it breaking out at that 45 level. Same level we were talking about 24 hours ago. It tried to go, it did not. If it can't break it, if it can't go higher than resistance point, then usually as a day trader, that's a good place to short. And that's just how it is. So about 30 seconds to go. But remember, you're not going anywhere because after market, you're going to get the recap show. You've got Sean, you've got Mr. Shannon, and tomorrow's a Fed day. So a contested decision for the first time in a very long time where we don't know exactly what we are going to get. I saw you were pulling it up. I had meant to check this afternoon, but I'm guessing it's still right around what it was before. The closing bell with Adara is brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences, revolutionizing brain health. So ring it for Firefly in 3, 2, and 1, Adara. And now said market is closed. Not a very ridiculous, the ES dead exactly flat. 0.4, 0.4. The Nasdaq, pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to double check because I want to see what this is lying as. It's still at, is this thing not updating? Every time I refresh, it's exactly 65 to 35. So maybe they're just not up. Or maybe it just hasn't changed.
It probably doesn't change too much heading in with only one day left. So
only one day to go.
I'll join everybody. Thanks everybody for the birthday wishes there.
Yes,
and
sir.
Man, some of these small cap stocks continue to move around in the aftermarket. Okay, I'm going to get up to the desk because I should already be there. So bye everybody. Thanks, Neil. That was very nice of everything today. And I'll see everybody around.
Well, make sure you enjoy the Shawarma Fest.
Yes, if
or
that's
Shawarma party this evening.
The Shawarma Fest.
Shawarma Fest. I don't know. Well, it could be a fest. This OMEX, by the way, the stock that's down a bajillion %, just made a fresh low. The scaling on this silly chart is going to be a little bit nonsensical because if a stock goes from $5 to 40 cents, it's nasty. Someone's on the offer at 50 cents for 500,000 shares, and it is just cratering. So it did reopen at 4 o'clock. For anybody that might be in this, all I have to say to you is good luck with that. This is a nasty one. I wouldn't be taking any shots at it or trying to hold overnight. Again, we didn't really figure out the story there. There was a story with them regard to NAFTA and a decision which went their way. I'm going to imagine that's not a thing that would take you down 90%. So still moving around big time. CPDB just saying Nike was a stair step up. Actually did not look at Nike today. I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity, but do want to go down the line. I want to say a big shout out to our entire team here. Doing a great job every single day. Fabian, Remy, and Adrian on the ones and twos. And thank you so much for guys putting together that video for Sean and his birthday. Sorry, Andre. Adrian's you know what's hilarious? Adrian's my roommate from university that I have on the brain because we were looking at those pictures earlier. But big shout out to you guys for putting that together. Big shout out to Marissa for getting some of the pictures. If you haven't seen it, we'll be posting it on social, the video for Sean's birthday. Sean's wife sending in some great family photos for us to be able to do that for him. So hopefully everyone's able to enjoy that. Shout out to Shrifin and Adara on the midday. But you know what time it is. It's past 4 o'clock. Time for us to go from here to the desk. You don't have to do anything. Just sit back and then get to the recap show. We've got Sean. We've got Fed Preview. We've got Brian Shannon. How's about now?
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me one more time right here. I'm just waiting to log into my account right now. You're in standard moderator. I'm not a moderator for this channel. Okay, shout out to Bears versus Bulls. I'm just getting that login right now for Twitter so I can get in here and get ready to go. But right now we do have OIH moving around 3-3. I don't want to tell my password to everybody right there. Okay, so hey, welcome everybody. All right, thank you so much. What a crazy day. We came over here a little bit late, so we're just sort of getting set up. We are brought to you by the Benzinga Pro platform. Any news that hits, we will go over it right here on Benzinga Pro. There are no earnings to talk about really tonight, so we'll wait to see his public offering right now for CWST. It was EA Sports, by the way, Investor Day today. So EA Sports today, expects American football business to generate $1 billion in net bookings. So there's actually, my wife's really happy about this. Her favorite video game, I believe, of all time is The Sims, and there's a Sims movie coming out. right there with Margot Robbie, apparently. So that is coming out ASAP right now. I'm going to take this out of my ear as I'm not expecting any big stories to hit. Nice move back for oil. We talked about what OIH did today a little bit on the show. There's the battle back over the last little while. So right now, oil services back to the upside. We can check out USO. And again, today was a little bit of a different day. Why? Because we had some different moves, right? We had the Nasdaq bouncing early, then making that move down, ending up basically flat. We had United States Oil Fund up 1.16%. And in what was a pretty busy day overall, little choppy at the close as we wait for tomorrow. We saw some of those buy imbalances send the Nasdaq to the north side. We will have Brian Shannon on. I'm going to talk to him about expectations tomorrow. Is he trading the Fed? Is he not? What names are we going to be looking at for sure coming into play? This marijuana ETF, man, MSOS, still downside channel right here, as you can see, $7, still in that range. We'll see if there's some more downside moves. KWeb today. Again, let's look at some interest-sensitive spots, right? Including regional banks. That's an interest-sensitive rate. As mortgage rates continue to come to the downside, can regionals handle this move, right? JP Morgan got hit, I believe it was up today though, yeah, up 0.67, but recently hit there on some of their expense ratio and whatnot, and possible profits not being at the same levels as expectations. A downside guide sends this name from 220 into 200, now trying to battle back. I turned to Obi that day at 200, 201, and I'm like, this is probably a buy down here, and it looks like we were right for that one. That's funny. What's up, Marie or Mary there? The password is let's go. Yeah, you're right about that one. We are always on the go. One name that I'm going to feel bad about not buying that I think we got to probably do at some point, Berkshire. I mean, we talked about the strength in the Dow. We talked about strength all on my necklaces. Okay. Strength in various names. Berkshire drops into the 50-period moving average. Now a nice move back upside there, right? Watch out for Berkshire. I think this could be, it's not a sleeping giant. We talked about it hitting the 1 trillion mark, but a pullback in, nice bounce back. You went from 480 down to 450, back to 455. I think there's some upside potential there with Berkshire Hathaway. All right. I mean, if we want to look at some individual names, I actually don't even have that up here, so I have to go find that. Here we go, the stock heat map today. Let's have a quick look at what was moving around and what wasn't as we'll get ready for Brian in about 10 minutes. Okay, so here we go. Today, NVIDIA downside. I actually, for once, I think in a while, have not, maybe I can zoom in a little bit here, did not trade NVIDIA today. NVIDIA down 1.02%, Broadcom 0.95%, AMD downside. So a lot of the chip names having some problems. Qualcomm up 1.25%. That was really nice. The big mover today, though, where is it, man? Why can't I find Intel? There it is right there. Intel, what's inside? Intel's inside. Intel today, very disappointing. I'm actually going to slap a fail on it. Why? It's funny to say that when it's up 3%, but Intel started real hot, man. We thought that this name was going to take that $22 mark, which it did, get up there to $22.65, but then it failed off of those levels today. Intel, of course. And what did Intel get? They get that $3 billion from the Chips and Science Act, and then they announced a strategic partnership with Amazon. So let's just quickly have a quick look at INTC. And we talked about this the other day, potentially, and Brian was the one. It's funny that it always comes back to this. We talked about a 30 or 40-year anchored VWAP as a joke, but that's been holding down here at $20, and right now you're trying to break through. I still really like a 22 break on Intel. Where did we close today, actually? Yeah, 21.40. I like that break right there. So if we can get Intel tomorrow, maybe early, a break of 22 right there, then we'll get going. We traded it yesterday at this time when that news dropped. That was Intel yesterday at this time. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's with us right now. Over 2,800 of you staying with us and on no earnings. So again, thank you so much for that. NVIDIA, just quickly on the daily chart for them, been going sideways for a minute, right? I mean, this goes all the way back here to June. So if you go back into June, it was $120. You did, obviously, you've had some moves back down in. That August 5th level, forget about that. If you wipe those levels out, you're basically in a $10 or $15 sort of haze there for NVIDIA. I think a lot can be said for the same thing for Meta. Although right now, Meta battles all the way back. A lot of sideways movements, man, as we wait to get into this Fed rate cut. I'm pretty bullish heading into this just because a lot of these names are at highs. You'll feel like you'll fade out tomorrow, but then you should be able to grab it back in. Let me just type in here, CME Fed rate tool, and we're gonna get it up right now for you on Google. So let me just grab this right here. See, I use Google for some things. People were adding me. I was saying like, I don't use Google for anything anymore, but we still do, right? You're gonna open up a web page. You gotta use something. Here it is. We're gonna talk to Brian about this because he had a really funky tweet out saying that the Fed can actually cut by whatever rate they want. So it might not be a quarter point, might not be 50 points, might not even be 75. It might be 37.5. We'll figure that out. But here it is right here. Tomorrow, guys, girls, everybody, looks like 65% is what's expected for tomorrow at a 50 basis point cut. So right there, we are looking at that. It would be a surprise for a quarter. I think they're going a quarter, which puts me in the minority. And why do I think that? Because they had sort of said, let's not panic. Let's not do things too quickly. They're very, very measured on the way up. Let's see if they're measured on the way down. If we get 75 basis points, I would say, look out below. People will panic on 75. Get straight. 75 points on the downside for that cut. So we'll have to wait for that. Someone says, "Damn, Daniel," in that chat. Was that little wake up there? What was that? Is that guy again? What do we have there? Okay, we got to put a stock at the bottom to wake that thing up. Look, what I want to do right here quickly is just show you some things that I tweeted out here earlier on today. Check out this, man. You guys want to question the returns on the S&P 500? I mean, check out this. From 1928, oh, today's my birthday, so this is just a review since when I was born. 1928 to 2023, so you got 95 years of data, right? The S&P returns here. Look at what we're talking about. It averages on base 13.8% return. Look at all these 10 to 20%. Nicely done. Right there last year, 20 to 30% last year. Where will we lend today? Where will we end up this year? Worst years, 40%, more than 40% in 1931. Man, those were bad times. 1937 as well, 2008. We remembered what happened in 2008. Big time fail with the housing crash. Oh, that's right. Ramin doesn't remember what happened then. She was not around. Yes, you were. 2008. Okay, I hope so. 2002 right there. Another bad year. 2022. Man, what happened in this year, right? As we get going, 2018, another bad year. But you can see, man, the good years definitely outweighing the bad years, giving an average of 13.8% on the S&P 500. So you know what? Depending on what's going to come through these rate cut cycles, I believe rate cycles are very bullish as we let them play out. So let's let them play out. Another thing, and this is what I'm going to talk to Brian about immediately when he comes on. This is the most uncertain FOMC rate meeting since data started in 2015. So right now we get the 65.35 for that quarter point. Is it going to be a quarter? Is it going to be 50? The most uncertainty between those two decisions since 2015, which leads us to something called volatility that should be hitting tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to be losing my voice the more and more we go here, but that's fine. We only have now 15 more minutes left in the show. So that was something pretty important. Guess what else I want to share with you? Shout out to my guy, Larry Ellison. Nope. Ramin, please help right now. All right, so you can see here, Elon Musk. Still that dude, man. Elon Musk is still that dude right there at $251 billion, despite him spending it all, or a lot of that, on something called X right now. Mr. Jeff Bezos, shout out to you on your yacht. You're still worth $209 billion. Go find this all on my Twitter right now, on X, sorry. Mark Zuckerberg, tech. Mark Zuckerberg, Bernard Arnault right there, fashion coming. Ramin. All right, Larry Ellison. This guy just bolted up, man. This guy wasn't even on the top 10 until Oracle said thank you very much. So a lot of these earnings are going to be stock related. Somebody named Bill Gates is on here at $161 billion. And then shout out to Microsoft again. These little, I didn't even notice this. We have the little logos here. That's cool. Microsoft right there. So there we go. Google coming through with Larry Page, as well as Sergey Brin, and then someone called Uncle Warren coming coming through right there as well. So, hey, look, the top 10 right now is loaded with individuals that we know. It's stock market, baby. The rich keep on getting richer, as it says right here. Shout out to Carbon Finance for that one as we retweet that out. But yeah, man, there's Elon Musk. What's up, Elon? All right, we'll go to our, that was just Star Trek coming through here. So big trade for us today was the short on Apple. That was a good one. The short on the TQs was also a good trade there today. And I want to thank everybody. Why am I wearing a jacket when it's 25 degrees outside? I have no idea. But there it goes right there. We'll bless you, Ramin, as we go through it. So, all right, not too many huge stories happening right now in the market in the after hours, but big time stories happening throughout the day, right? Including more movements down. Actually, you know what? Let's go back over to our stock list here and just have a quick look at what was moving around. I saw this today, very, very interesting. Walmart pulling back. When's the last time we saw Walmart? And don't at me, it was probably yesterday. Walmart down 2.5%. That's a nice move down. So is Costco as we get ready for these cuts. So Walmart and Costco going the other way. We do have a downside move here today in GE as well. JP Morgan, Bank of America. Healthy financial sector today, definitely. Healthcare, right? Getting ready to go to the downside. Eli Lilly down another 2%. We have to watch out for that. XOM, CVX. I really like that XOM bottom down here at 110. I think this is the best operating oil major around. We can take that zoom back out right now, but XOM, beautiful bottom at 110 right there, bouncing off the 200 period. I really like this name, ExxonMobil. I feel like if you're going to get into anything, that would be the one. Our XLE, though, little depressed. I guess Neil's put these on here. I didn't put any of these on here. But right there, nice hold of XLE. Wow. Great hold in these oil names. I know Brian was talking about some oil names before as well. We'll get him on ASAP to discuss all of that as well. And then we do want to talk to Brian about his expectation tomorrow. And why did he have to put that idea of 37.5 in our head? So we're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes as well as Brian Shannon from @AlphaTrends. I still have these pastries right here. Thank you to Sharif for going out and grabbing that for sure. So people saying, pardon me? It was your reco. Yeah, I saw Bloom on there. Thank you for that. That was great. The macho ones. Yeah, Ramin wants all the credit. But you know who deserves all the credit right now as I talk over these two? It's Brian. Let's go. Yeah, you always have the good recommendations. Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
Happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you so much. We did. Thank you. And we were just talking about this. We got some nice pastries from Bloom there today. And everyone's discussing whose idea it was to go there because they are so good. Bye-bye, Adara. Thank you, Brian, for that. What month is your birthday in?
November.
November, great. Yeah, another fall baby. We love the fall. Or maybe that's winter, I guess. We love fall babies around here. That's my favorite season. I like the fact that you can sleep with the windows open up here. And it's nice and cool in the morning, cool in the evening, and beautiful during the day. You have a favorite season?
I think, spring, late spring. It's warming up. The snow is great on the mountains.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
We got more daylight. So definitely spring.
I thought I set you up there. I thought you were going to go with earnings season.
No, well, we're not there yet. It's definitely not Fed season. I'll take that bite.
Yeah, Fed season right now as we get really excited for tomorrow. I mean, I guess none of us should really be too surprised that we did have a little bit of an inside day here on the Nasdaq. I mean, the triple Qs just trying to find its way right now, bouncing off the 50 period. Nasdaq kind of going back and forth today. A pretty meh day. We start off really nice, have that fall down, but look at the afternoon, Brian. I feel like this is to be expected heading into Fed. I know you and I have gone back and forth about this a couple times on the show, and I don't know if you saw the most recent Fed rate tool here. I'm sure you did. I saw your tweet today, but 65% chance right now that we get 50 basis points and 35% chance right now of 25 basis points. I know I'm talking too much, but the reason why is I got to find this tweet. You put out a tweet there today about, I'm going to get in a second, looking forward to a potential move that maybe we're not expecting. Have you ever seen that sort of outside move of 37.5? Or did you just find that somewhere?
No, I was just being silly, Sean.
Okay.
I made that up. I was just pointing out to the ridiculousness of it. that nobody knows is if it's 50, no one knows if it's 25. Everyone's going to debate it. Their opinion means nothing. So why not throw 37.5 out, split the difference? But as traders, we know what's most important is how's the market going to respond. And we have one thing we can't predict, that is what the Fed is going to do, and we have another thing we can't predict, which is what's the market going to do. So it's a time for me to just be a lot more defensive.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision. I mean, we had some people in our chat today talking about maybe getting out of some of the positions that have overextended. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Meta, and I'm sure you're comfortable, obviously, talking about many stocks. But I mean, look at this stock. I've just talked about it. We've been going kind of sideways, and we're just back to where we were in April, taking out this level. I mean, sure, there's some nice moves in here, but if you close your eyes and wake up, it's like the last 4 or 5 months haven't even happened. This may be a good time to trim if you're getting nervous about what could possibly happen with uncertainty in the Fed. You agree with any of that? Maybe potentially trimming some of these names that might be at highs?
No, I don't disagree with that at all. In fact, I did that with the biotechs today. Okay. As you know, I think it was last week when I got involved. I think it was probably about this day. It was actually Wednesday of last week that I purchased the biotechs right over here where all these green arrows are. At about 98.50 because it got back above that flat to rising 5-day moving average. And let's just clean up this whole mess because I've got all my old drawings on there. But this over here on the left is the daily chart. And we spoke about, is it a cup and handle or is it a triangle? And now that we got a little bit extended, I trimmed some up in here as it started to pull back. And these guys, I think, still have the potential to be the biggest mover without a lot of potential resistance. If we break, here's our weekly chart. I mean, I could see us going up towards that 120 level, so 20% of upside. Doesn't mean it's going to happen right away, but you don't see many charts like this that have been coiled so long, not for a major ETF that have that upside potential. So this is still my favorite group, but I want to trim some, just be prudent after, a 5% rally in the last week.
I want to thank Brian one more time from @AlphaTrends. You can go find this guy all over X. Thank you, Brian, for coming on here again as we continue. So Brian Shannon from AlphaTrends. Look, you've taught me, I hope very well, and many of our viewers very well. You get a lot of respect for the anchored VWAP. Look, I'm thinking, what if we get 75 basis points, okay? And I know that we're going to talk about, we don't know what's going to happen. But if we're talking about a 65% chance of 50, there has to be some kind of a chance to 75. I don't think they do that. I think that scares us and puts us into recession talk. Are we already in a recession? We had Jeffrey Gunlock talking about it this afternoon, that potentially we are already in a recession. The jobs market trying to hold up, but will it? We had a cooling down. A CPI kind of came in as expected. We'll be able to figure that out over the next couple prints. But Brian, right here on the triple Qs, I just dropped it down to this October low right here, an anchored VWAP. And you know what that puts us down to? $430 for a possible drop down. So that's about a 10% retracement back on the Nasdaq. I would think that this also coincides with some of these levels back in April. Can you give me maybe some work here on either the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, where if we do get a disaster, which I would think would be a disaster, 75 points, is there a buying area that we could maybe get interested in some of these indexes? And which one should we look at? Maybe IWM, or we could look at the Nasdaq.
Well, let's talk about the Nasdaq. I just pulled that up as you were discussing it, Sean. And,
okay.
As you pointed out, we've got that anchor from the October low that would bring us at about that 430-ish level. But just above that, we have this blue, which is the year-to-date anchor, and that coincides pretty much with the 200-day moving average at about 443 or so. So I think that would be, if we were going to get a flush down to there, that would undercut this prior low, create a pattern of lower highs and lower lows, and then perhaps get a little bit of a bounce and see what the next move is. It's still of concern that we have a declining 50-day moving average and declining 20-day moving average. And when we look right here where we were 50 days ago, that means we're going to be averaging this data out and it will continue to decline. And same is true with the 20-day moving average. So if we're going to see a pullback, it might indicate that we're just going to need a lot more time to digest. And don't forget what a big move this has been. This Nasdaq has doubled from the October of 2022 low up to this high. So maybe we need a little bit more time to digest that, Sean.
I think you're going to be right. And sometimes we have to look back at it and be like, you know what, the market is just up so much right now. We just talked about an on average 13.8% or so in the S&P 500. We're doing that already. So maybe it is time to cool down. I mean, it's already September. I mean, we're getting into the end of the year. I just saw something that I want to talk about because Michael Noss, who we had on yesterday on the show, he likes the home builders. And I saw that your tweet out about mortgage REITs and that you're in some of these right now. And I love all these check marks, man. I love how easy it is to follow you on Twitter. And again, all above rising 50s and 200. I mean, I love the fact that we're paying monthly dividends and quite frankly, not extended yet. So what are you thinking here? You have a couple charts. Is there anything that you like better than others? But what mortgage REITs are you looking at right here as, again, a big interest sensitive sector?
Yeah, the two that I own out of there are this one, DX. This is Dynex Capital, and then ARR. These, as I said, they both pay monthly dividends. This one just went ex-dividend yesterday for, I think it was 20 cents or something like that. And then, so it's gotten it back. And the point is, like I said, they're not too far extended. If we were to get a 75 basis point cut rate, which again, I don't think that's likely, mortgage providers are definitely going to be a beneficiary of that because they are big beneficiaries of lower interest rates. And these things have been beaten to hell for a long time. And now they're starting to show some what look like, sustainable bottoms to me.
I always look at, I always look at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Those used to be big, obviously, when we were talking about 2008 and so on and so forth. And you can see here on a weekly chart for Fannie Mae, nice move up to $2, actually. I didn't even realize this back in the springtime, early summer, and now coming back in as we watch out for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And the other one, of course, is FMCC, more into rates and holding on to some of those properties. But I mean, I really like those monthly distributions as well. It's XHB is the home builders. And as you can see right here, this is really starting to break out right now. Even on the weekly chart, I mean, it's kind of like up and away right now. It reminds me of your XBI trading that you're talking about, trying to break this top right now. I saw you mention a little bit about XBI on the weekly. If there's one ETF that still has room to go, we're always looking like the Dow's at highs. We just talked about where the Nasdaq was, and some of these, the XHB is at those highs. But look at this, the XBI right now, the biotech ETF. You've been really right on a lot of these names. I know this is something that you look at. Again, a very interest sensitive spot, right? These biotech names need to borrow money. They need to work on getting these new technologies through, medicines and so on and so forth. I really like this stock. You like XBI here?
I do have XBI, but like I said, I sold a little bit of it today. I had purchased it last Wednesday. We spoke about the trade being set up, and I bought it over here, right over here at 98.50 or so, and sold a little bit today at 101.80 as it was coming down, and I have a 2/3 position left. So I'm still thinking, though, Sean, that we do break this resistance and go, fulfill some of what is this potential here on the weekly time frame that sometime, let's say in the first half of next year, we're up towards that 120 level or so.
Why is gold? I mean, isn't it just kind of strange that gold right now is breaking out and has broken out, not is breaking out, has broken out. And, equities are still near their highs. Like that seems to be a very, very strange relationship. That's not something that they teach you in school. It's almost supposed to be the opposite. Are we not fearful of anything? I mean, what's your take here on gold breaking out?
Gold's, been a great uptrend for most of this year. I think it was, back in February, March, where it started to break higher at 192 or so right here. And it's doing what it's supposed to when it breaks out from a tight consolidation. And that kind of reminds me of what the XBI looks like right here, right now.
Agreed,
similar to the gold over here. So I was kind of poking fun yesterday. I don't know if you saw my chart about I overlaid the SPY with the Japanese yen.
Oh, I did see that.
It said, hey, I thought we were supposed to be concerned when the Japanese yen goes down because that last time in August 5th, that low came, the news was, well, it's down because the Japanese yen. Well, the Japanese yen has continued to decline, but the S&P 500 has continued to go higher. So you can argue with your textbook about what's supposed to happen, or you can look at price action and say, listen, I'm time to throw the textbook away. I'm here to get paid, not to be the smartest guy in the room. And, only price pays. So we listen to what the price action does. If gold's going up, you got to be long gold and not argue with it.
Right, why bother to argue with anything? Gold is like my wife. I mean, so here you go. I mean, here's the tweet that you had out, Brian, again right now. And I've already mentioned what a great follow you are. And this is just another one right here as USD yen and the SPY. So yeah, I feel like throwing the textbooks out makes a lot of sense for a lot of things. And especially when we talk about the market these days. Brian, this is what you're all about. It's maximum trading gains with anchored VWAP. And of course, you're about much more than that, but go get this amazing book. It's been passed around our office so many times. It's always a great read. We give it to the new traders as well. You can never get enough information out of that. With only 1 minute to go, I mean, I know we just said it and we sort of started with the Fed and does it really matter? You have any inklings on what might happen tomorrow? What is Brian thinking tomorrow? First of all, I'm going to be probably hands-on because we trade on the show. I think the wise thing to do would be just to nibble, trade the momentum that you see and not get too carried away. But where do you think we're going? You think it's 25? You think it's 50? And where do you think the market reacts tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
I'm sticking with 37.5 basis
right.
points.
I like it. I like it.
Meaning I have no clue and nobody does. I don't like to play that game. It's kind of like at the beginning of the year, people say, well, are we going to, my year-end prediction is up 22%. I don't care where we are at the end of the year versus January 1st. I care about all the days in between where we have incredible opportunities to trade. And that's always going to be my focus.
I think that's the one thing that we can all take from all of this, right? We're risk managers. We take trades that we like and we deal with them on a daily basis. And that's why, honestly, I love what we do. I love the business, and I can see the passion runs deep with you. So best of luck with the Fed. Of course, everybody can go find you at Alpha Trends, find you online, find you on Twitter. Always a great follow, as we said. It's Brian Shannon. Thank you. Best wishes to you and yours. And thank you for the birthday wishes as well.
Yeah, go get a nice dinner or something tonight, Sean.
We're doing. Oh, my daughter's in love with shawarma, so I'm not sure we'll get too fancy of a dinner, but we're definitely going to go get some chicken shawarmas tonight, I believe. And thank you for the well wishes as well. And we'll say happy birthday to you in November. It's Brian Shannon. Thank you so much, my friend.
Take care, everybody. Thanks.
Ciao. Man, Neo Rob there in the chat, Cash Money and everybody else saying how much they appreciate Brian's insights, and I definitely do as well. You could throw anything at that guy. Make sure you go give him a follow at Alpha Trends, a good friend of the show, Brian, coming through. And there it is, Bears versus Bulls is now a member for 26 months. Thank you so much, Bears versus Bulls. A happy birthday, a great friend and inspiration. Thank you, that means a lot to me as well. You're a good friend of the shows and always will be. So shout out to you, Bears versus Bulls, and everybody else. We cannot be done until we do roll call. All right, as we go, look, I just want to thank everybody before we get going here. I want to thank Ramin for a great idea to go get these pastries. Thank you to Sharif for putting in the legwork to going to go get them. Thank you to Adara. And thank you to Neil. That was a great little montage we had. If you guys go back, it was about 10:50 or so. Pictures of me and Neil from 25 years ago. That was really awesome. So we had a bunch of fun on that today. Brendan, Fabian, everybody, Andre that worked on all of that today, Mark and Rob, and a big shout out to everybody in the chat as well. But we got to do it right now. Todd 6060 says happy birthday. Juan is there. Cash Money's here. Juan again. Mark M, Bao, Ryan, Jai, TS. Name the gain right there. Mary S. Thank you so much. Matt is there. Thank you, Matt. Sinful Davey, Richard Fan, Adrian, Dave B, Lasmel, Neo Rob, Eli, Adam DeLuz is here. What's up, Adam? He's coming here soon. What's up to Devion, Wade, AK, CP, Alfredo, Richard. They're all coming in. Hugh, what's up? Yeah, I don't know why everyone thinks it's my 21st. I think it's 31st, something like that. Or put a double on that, whatever. What's up to the Piper, OG, Ronnie, Henrik? I'm going to run out of breath if we keep going. Thank you so much to everybody today. It's been a great day. I look forward to continue the love more and more on the show. It means a lot to me to be here with you every single day. It's been a great recap show. I'm back on Thursday. Join Neil tomorrow when we'll have more Fed craziness on the recap show. But tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we're here. Make sure there's nobody else, man. We'll have it live for you. We'll have live market reactions. We'll be trading stocks. We'll be trading bonds. We'll be trading equity. We'll be trading future. We'll be trading crypto. And we may be trading none of them tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out of here. Thanks, Ramin, for staying late. And thank you to everybody and our guest, Brian Shannon. Ciao, everybody.